Hello
Alright,
and
and we're
welcome
finally
to
live.
Combox. Welcome to the game, guys. And we've just seen a wicket fall. Jaiswal gets out of the third ball, but, are they going to have a look once again?
That
What do
looked
you think,
close, but do you
Akshay?
think that's a no ball?
I don't know. Like, just on the first look, I feel like it's out. But yeah, let's see how
That's what in
they
real time
what
it
they
looked
think.
out to me as well. Let's
Yeah.
see what
Yeah.
happens. But oh man, that's a very eventful first set of three balls for
Yeah, the
Stark, man. I
first
was
ball
expecting better.
went for a cracking six, and then like what a welcome for Stark to the IPL.
That's
Very
true.
first ball.
That's true.
Okay,
Oh boy.
I feel I feel like it's still going to be safe. Like it's going to be out. It feels.
In real time, it didn't look that way. Yeah, I'm seeing the replay. Should be fine. Should be fine, to be honest. Anyways,
Yeah,
let's see. By
let's
the
see.
way, RR had won the toss and opted to bat first, something we've not seen too much of this season. But RR have done that a couple of times, if I'm not wrong, or at least once in the past. What do you make of that, winning the toss, opting to bat first?
I think it's like it depends from team to team as well, right? Because Delhi don't chase particularly well, and you know that you have the power to make 220 runs. So if you can just do that, then you put pressure on Delhi instantly. That way, I think.
That is true. That is true. But you would imagine that Stark coming in would sort of help them bolster that pace attack. Now,
Yeah, it should
Stark,
help the bowling.
there's Jameson as
It
well.
is a fair delivery, and that is a wicket. Then that is the end of Yashasvi Jaiswal in the first innings.
Expectedly, of
This battle
course.
also keeps on giving, does it not? We've seen some intense battles in Test cricket in particular, and now in the
Yeah.
IPL as well. Six and out.
Oh man, one of those deliveries that like everyone in the comment is saying
Yeah,
like you can't get out of something like this. But again,
yeah, yeah.
at full pace, when a full toss of that high comes, I genuinely think this isn't a juicy full toss. It's fairly high. It's one of those in between, like lengths, so to say. I don't know if length is the right word, but it's not knee high wherein you can just go for it, just go complete your swing. It's higher than that, but it's not high enough to be called a no ball, and you're just caught in between. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Oh. By the way, who are you backing today?
I think Rajasthan are better. They should win.
Chalo, let's see what happens. I'm really hoping DC wins more from a points table perspective. I'm already
Yeah,
tired
that
of the
will make
fact
the
that
points table more interesting for sure. But like DC are the better
exactly.
team, though they've lost a big wicket here. I mean, losing Jaiswal is like they've been very top three heavy, have they not? And Jaiswal is gone. Suryavanshi plays a high risk brand of cricket, so like he can get a 50 of 18. But what if he gets out? then what happens after that? Jurel has been a bit off color, I would say, after the start that he had. Like he was looking so
True,
good at
true.
number three, but I don't quite think
Yeah,
he's been at that level. Yeah.
fair. But where I would say Delhi is also looking much better is in the fact that they finally brought in Ashutosh Sharma. David Miller has gone out. A bit of a forced change, but
Yeah.
that is a welcome change. I think that's exactly what DC needed to do because not playing Ashutosh Sharma and playing both Stubbs and Miller in a way was almost hindering them like from being able to switch into that sixth game and came to the final four, final five overs. So that's a
Yeah.
welcome change for sure. Any update, by the way, on when is Ingidi going to be fit?
No. I've not really been able to follow that. Oh, that is a cracking delivery, by the way. The fifth ball. Wow.
Alright, let's see.
143. Test match line and length.
Ooh, lovely stuff. Lovely stuff.
Where are you watching today, bro? Geo
Where am I
Hotstar.
watching? Yeah, I'm watching on Geo Hotstar. I do have the quicker feed as well, just in case. Where are you watching? Wherever you're watching, I'll
I'm
probably
watching
just
on the
align
TV
myself
today.
with that. Oh,
I'm watching on the
then
TV.
I'll try and watch it on the quicker stream. The problem with the quicker stream is that it keeps chopping and going off and on, so that
Yeah,
becomes
that
a bit.
happens. Yeah,
Yeah,
you have to be on it a bit.
that is true. That is true.
And the
The
first
way
over is
Stark is running
done.
in, ooh, lovely.
7 of 1. Yeah, good
Not
stuff.
bad. Not bad at all.
The
Oof,
wicket, I
oof,
think,
oof.
also gave him some momentum. Certainly.
Yeah, that is true. Meanwhile, no changes for RR, right? DC 3 changes. Oh no, RR
Mm.
Bishnoi has come in if I'm not wrong. Yeah, Bishnoi
For
is the one
Yashraj
change.
Punja, or is it for the pacer?
Yeah, for Yashpunja and Dasun Shanaka is also missing out. Let me
Oh,
check who's coming.
wait. I'll just have a
I
quick look
know,
through.
yeah, playing 11. Who's... Oh
Is
yeah,
he going to be?
Shubham Dubey is in the 11. They've brought him into the 11.
Hmm.
And Shanaka misses out is what they said, so fair to assume he won't be brought in. So how many overseas players are they playing with? Ferreira, I see Archer, I see Burger. So they're probably going to look at who to bring in. They can bring in Shanaka, they can bring in I want
Adam
to say
Milne.
head. Yeah,
Adam Milne
Milne,
is
I guess.
this in the
Yeah.
substitutes.
Impact subs.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Headmeyer is in there.
Yeah, Hitman is not in the
Yeah,
impact
that's it.
subs here.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting
So
choice
there,
that, but I can see what they're trying to do.
hmm. Yeah, I think that's it's a bit like the RCB discussion where we were saying that what they can do is they can impact sub Romario and Duffy, and the days you don't need Romario's batting, you can just get in another extra seamer to have six proper
Yeah.
bowling options. Or if you need Romario's batting, then I mean you don't need Duffy. Then you have your regular bowling attack, right? But I think the flaw with that is, are you on mute? Say something.
I'm not speaking. I'm not speaking.
Okay,
You can
you're,
speak.
for a second I thought you were on mute. No.
Nah.
So basically, what I'm saying is, if the flaw, potential flaw with that is, what if the top order batters assume that okay, Romario, like it might, Romario being in the playing 11 versus being an impact sub might also have like a bit of a change, right? Oh,
Yeah. Is that what did Rahul do? He's celebrating, but yeah, nothing. Okay. Just
he
random.
looked very.
Yeah. But about what you said, it's one of those calls, when it comes good, it's one of those funky calls.
Yeah.
When it comes good, it's great. It looks really great. Oh, that's such a smart choice and all. But when it doesn't come good, you look so
Exactly.
stupid and you're like, oh my God, what were they thinking? You don't have to be such a smart ass. So it's a very, it's a very fine line,
But
to be honest, with a call like that.
no, but why do you say that? Like, let's say if they have to use Shanaka today, that is fine, no?
If they
They
have
would have
to,
played
yeah,
him
but
anyway.
let me. First of all,
Yeah.
I don't rate Shanaka very highly, so I'm also slightly
That's fair. That's all right.
yeah, in two minds about that. But yeah, it is a fair call. I can see a fair argument to be made for both sides. That's how I'll put it.
No,
I don't think it's a
that is
bad call
okay.
by any means.
No, that's fine. That's fine. What I'm saying is, what do you think is the pitfall in this? Like, what is the worst case scenario here? I'm actually trying to understand here.
Yeah. Maybe in RR or RCB specific case, because of the fact that they have options, I can still understand. You can make a case like in RR's case, if they don't use Shanaka, they can always go for a bowler. But from a first 11 standpoint, you always want to field a strong first 11. Like that's usually the argument that's made. Like, is Shanaka going to be useful as someone who can come in and tonk in the first 5-6 balls? Like if he's going to be brought in as an impact sub and use straight away. Actually, I don't know what is the
I
pitfall.
mean,
to be
that is his
honest.
role, right? He's sort of a finisher, is he not?
Yeah.
And that
that's
is a
the role
4 for
expected
Vaibhav
of him.
Sooryavanshi, by the way. Another bowler down. Now he takes on Kyle Jamieson, another elite test class bowler. Not quite the best T20 bowler around, but
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
it's just one more name added to the big list of
Yeah,
bowlers. Yeah.
exactly. Lovely
And they
stuff.
still
Lovely
start
stuff.
to go. Let's hope we get to see some of that in the
I
next
want to see
over.
Stark versus
Yeah,
Suryavanshi.
yeah.
That'll be fun.
That
That
is
should
the
be
big
fun.
hyped up battle, is it not?
Yep. But I do agree with you. I can't see any obvious pitfall as such. I have to go and see.
Yeah.
Like, I do remember a lot of people arguing against it. And I was like, it's one of those.
Whoa, he's gone. And Kyle Jamieson has yorked him, bro. Whoa.
That's an excellent delivery, by the way. Smart of him. Again,
Whoa.
you don't necessarily associate the
Yes.
Yorker with Jameson. He's someone who tends to hit those
Exactly.
hard hits. Yeah. And this once again goes back to that same point that Abhinav Mukund made, and I shamelessly mooched it off of him. Bowl as full as you can to Suryavanshi early up, because he's someone who likes those length balls. It helps him get his bat down. It helps him complete his bat swing. Again, he wasn't able to get his bat down. He didn't have the time to go through his shot, and yeah, that sort of got him the wicket.
Look at Kyle Jamieson, bro. His celebration. He's fully celebrating in his face only.
Nailed it. Yeah, he's nailed. Oh, I see that now.
Yeah, did you see the
Dude, I don't
celebration?
want a 6'8". I don't want every inch of that 6'8" beast in front of me on my face. That's a very scary proposition, to be honest. Oh, that's a brilliant Yorker. Brilliant Yorker.
Yeah.
Oh man, like I see this last comment by Andy. Dude, I hate that you're a grown man taunting a little child. This is the Indian Premier League. It's the biggest tournament in the world. I don't think when Suryavanshi smashes, anyone's going or pitting the bowler saying, "Arey bacha hai, so it's fine." Of course, he's being smashed. So I don't look at all of that. How do you look at it? Do you think it's wrong of Jameson to do that? Because of his
I don't
age,
know.
specifically because of his age.
It's a bit weird, no? Because of the age, I think I definitely see the argument that maybe you shouldn't be sledging an underage kid, even though he's one of the best players in the league. It's a bit weird, man. I don't really know what to feel about it, to be honest. I actually don't
But
have an answer for it.
all I'll say is, in the moment now, when you've taken a wicket, Jameson isn't thinking, "Oh, that's a 15-year-old in front of me." To him, he's a top batter that his team wants to really
Yeah.
get rid of as soon as possible. He's arguably the biggest wicket in the opposition, and he's got him out. So that's how I would probably look at it. Nothing
Yeah, I
else.
think that's also a fair take. Yeah, honestly speaking, it's like I'm probably both sidesing it here, but I think both sides have their valid points here. It's a bit of a weird one.
Oh wow. I'm promoting child abuse, it seems. Anyways, 2 overs done and dusted. 12 for 2, the Rajasthan Royals. Parag, man, he really has to come good, and especially after what's happened in the last game, the whole Vape gate, if that's
And
what you
that's a
want to call
boundary.
it. Starts off well. Well, that's Jurel. Nice shot. Nice shot. Jurel is a lot more IPs versus pace, so that's definitely something that's going to suit him if Delhi sort of, stick to Starc and Jameson for at least another couple or more overs. I think that would give Jurel, some respite that way.
So would you say then he should just play the situation right now? I mean, because they've lost 2 wickets, they kind of also need runs. 2 of their biggest run getters are gone. That's another good shot. Just picked up a single there, but pretty
nice.
solid stuff.
I mean, I would say this. I mean, this might be a very cliched answer, but if there are bad balls or balls that can be punished, I would say take the odd risk or two as well. Like, because he's a
you
lot
can't
more.
stall it too much. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. And also because he's a lot more comfortable handling pace. This is more like his matchup in some
Good
sense.
one. Yeah.
So
Agreed.
when
Even
spin
Parag
comes
is
in, he's
a
anyway going to
when
take
Parag is at his
yeah.
best, he's also a good player of pace. So I think that's
Yeah, of course. But in Parag's defense, Parag can also handle spin. Like if he's looking good, he can also handle spin. Yeah, Jurel is
fair.
going to get tied down, so this might as well is his chance to score a few more. Ooh, just
That was
has
a good
yeah, goes after it, but yeah.
I am just disappointed, bro. We didn't get to see Vaibhav versus Starc. That would have been the battle of the day.
True.
Unfortunately.
Oh, yeah,
They're showing the Arshdeep over also, bro, where last time he got him out on a full toss. I don't think that is just like purely bad luck, but to be honest, if you remember Arshdeep's first 2 deliveries when he nailed the Yorkers, those 2 were dot balls, and then he pulled his length back a bit and then went for boundaries. So maybe there is something
good
there.
Ball again.
Yeah, good one.
Going across that line is very good for Parag. Because Parag is someone who, if it's on the stump line, he's a lot more comfortable pulling it. This going across him makes it difficult for him. So, well bowled. Very well directed. And I agree with you, Arshdeep, those first couple of deliveries. And once again, that's why being very full to Sooryavanshi, I don't know, again, to what extent. Because the sample size is so small, you can't make a very strong case. So, you'll have to see.
I don't think there is a whole lot much to read into it until and unless, as you said, sample size. We get to see what this guy's like. If it's a recurring trend, then maybe there is something to do with the way he lines up, the sort of technique that he has, right? The natural bat swing and everything. Maybe it's not best suited for the fuller deliveries, but yeah, like I think time will tell us. And for the time being, it's a big cause of worry for Rajasthan Royals that they're 2 down. I think more than anything else. Jaiswal and Sooryavanshi, I would imagine they've scored at least 40 to 45% of their runs this season, have they not?
Yeah, easily.
They have to be at least up there. Because Vaibhav was at 400. I believe he was the first to get to 400 in this tournament even.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, that's a good shot. Yeah, well played.
Nice. Gets a 4.
He really needs to get runs today though.
And by the way, RR, I mean, speaking of Sooryavanshi and all, the next 4 games, I just saw that, is versus GT, LSG, DC again, and Mumbai. So those are decent pace attacks. Even Mumbai's got a Bumrah, so it can be exploited. So if there's actually a case to be made that he struggles, I mean, not struggles, but he's a lot more uncomfortable versus the fuller lengths, GT again has enough paces, so does LSG, so
Yeah.
does MI, so does these. So it'll be fun to watch for sure.
That is true.
Speaking of fun, we've got Jared Kimber joining us.
Speaking of fun, here I am. So all you need to do is bowl in Yorkers. It's easy. Why hasn't everyone been doing that?
Exactly.
Or full tosses, Jared.
I'm pretty sure Varun said this the other day. He actually has a bit of a weird thing
Yeah,
where
0 of
really-
7 balls or something like that. That's
Yeah,
what he was
really
saying.
full balls cause an issue.
Yeah, but again, as we said, sample size. We really need to see how.
No, but it could
this
be
lines up.
because of the way he sets up. It could
Exactly, we were
actually be
just
that he
saying
has
this.
an issue there.
Yeah, the natural bat swing, right?
I was comparing him the other day to Chris Lynn, right? In that
Ooh,
when you're set up to hit the ball,
Yeah.
as long as the ball's in the area you're set up to hit, you're fine. It's when people find the area you're not set up to hit. Again, that says, Parag, please don't do anything stupid in this game. What could he do? Just like get out a syringe, put in some heroin, perhaps. Attack a small child on the boundary. Strip naked, get his dick out.
Oh, wow.
No?
I thought the list ended like 2 or 3 options ago, and Jared really had a lot more. So
I can
Good
keep
on
going
you,
if you
Jared.
want, Akshay. How far do you want me to go here?
man, I'm good. I'm good for now.
I'm having trouble with the stream. Are you guys having stream issues?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just
it's
on the
slightly
TV
bumped.
today, so it's looking all good.
On the TV? What is this? It's like Cheyenne's gone back in time.
Yes. That's a good shot.
Alright, what's happened here?
Well timed.
Jurel.
Yep.
You think it's time to probably bring in a spinner? Akshat can bowl himself here.
Yeah, he can't do that. But 4 overs, yeah, he can bowl the 5th. That's a valid one. Maybe to tie Jurel up a bit.
Yeah. I anyway don't think they have. Who are the other pacers, by the way? Oh, they're playing with only 5 bowlers: Akshar, Jameson, Starc, Kuldeep, and Natarajan. Interesting. I mean, Nitish Rana, of course. How can we forget that guy?
he did get Virat Kohli and AB de Villiers out in the same match. That's peak.
Can you not, though,
Peak.
if I suppose depending on what they wanted to do, and they may not do this, they could actually... It is weird. They're bowling first, and all of their impact subs are bowlers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bowlers in their impact sub. Not all of them, but I suppose it's... No, it's only 2. Sorry, Chamira's not one of them. So could they, if they wanted to, though, if it does spin, they could bring in Nagam, right, later on.
Yeah. I think they're keeping that option open a bit, like Rajasthan themselves, because Rajasthan also have Shanaka as well as Adam Milne in their impact subs. So I think they're doing that Romario Duffy thing that we were talking about, Jared, where you keep both of them in the impact subs. Your 4th overseas option you keep available, and you use it accordingly. Delhi are doing it in a different way, but I think it's the same logic in a sense.
Gindeep says Sooryavanshi and Narayan is the same batting technique. There's actually a bunch of really interesting differences between them. One is head position, right? The other one is where their feet go. So Narayan just splays himself every single time, whereas Sooryavanshi actually keeps really, really good balance. I think the person you're looking for, Gindeep, and I've mentioned this a few times, is Lance Klusner. It's much more like a Lance Klusner technique than it is a Sunil Narayan one. What do you think Rayan Ahmed's doing? Instagram posts, maybe some sponsored trips, maybe some meet and greets with VIPs?
I saw him do a video with Samir Rizvi.
Yeah, some social stuff, yeah. Well, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
he is listed on, he was flown out there, Cheyenne.
He did.
And we haven't quite seen him yet. Yeah, fascinating.
I mean, they could have actually tried Rehan. Assuming he is match fit, they could have tried him ahead of Nissanka. Again, he can be batted up the order and also potentially gives you a few overs of leg spin if that's needed.
I think Jared, you also suggested something similar, no? I mean, that he can open the innings in this team.
Yeah, I was thinking, look, I really like the KL roll Nissanka thing. It just hasn't worked because Nissanka wants to face 10 balls and look incredible and go out every game, right? you know, and it just hasn't worked. But if you look at it on a deeper sort of point of view, the issue I have with Nasanka and KL Rahul is they basically both play the exact same game, and I don't really see what strength you are getting out of having both of them in there. I mean, that's the weird thing about this team, right? As this is Hamid. Akshar comes on and bowls a bit short to Jarrell. Hammers this behind backward point for 4. Good cut shot. The interesting with the thing with this team is, right, and I don't know if this is a general manager thing or a captain thing or a coach thing, right? But KL Rahul and Patham Nissanka play the exact same role.
Yeah.
Right?
They do.
Tristan Stubbs and David Miller play the exact same role.
Exactly.
Right. And so if you look down at their team all the way, they've just got overlap in the team. I've never seen a team that could make trades more than this team and probably just improve themselves while also giving up. Like, my guess is, how old's Nissanka, Sean?
He would be 28. No, not 27 maybe is my guess.
So,
can't be older than that.
Even if he doesn't come off this year, I think we all know that his quality
27.
is, and the ability of him to hit spin, he's going to have a couple of big years in the IPL, right? Like, unless this year just does him in and he gets dropped and he never comes back. Like, if he plays consistently over 2 or 3 years, we're expecting some pretty big years from him. One of the best players to spin in the world, doesn't mind the new ball, has changed his game plan a little bit to catch up to other people. Like, it makes sense. But if you have KL Rahul, do you really need Patham Nissanka is the question.
Exactly.
Is there other teams
like Jared,
I don't know who have no openers?
Lucknow? Imagine Lucknow maybe? Would he be a good fit there?
Doesn't him and Mitch Marsh make a lot more sense?
Yeah.
Yes,
I was about to say
yes,
that.
on that
Marsh
wicket.
and him actually makes sense.
Yeah.
You suddenly you don't have a bowler who can bowl back of a length to them with seam because they're both great at playing the pull shot. So you need
Correct.
the opposition, if they have those bowlers in, are already in trouble. You can't really bowl spin to either of them early on. One's going to whack you for 6 and the other one's going to milk you and hit 6s as well. And then if Mitch Marsh doesn't come off, fine, you still have him. Right? You still have Nissanka as, in that other role.
By the way, this has been reviewed in the meantime. Rian Parag. Yeah.
He does play this short a bit, does he not? I've seen him play this. Definitely this IPL.
Let's see. But it's a fair call in what DC have also done. Sorry, Shan, you were saying.
No, sorry. You were saying fair call in what?
I was going back to the Nissanka bit, but yeah, you can finish your point.
Yeah. No, I'm saying it didn't look out to me, but yeah, it is not out. It's fine. I'm safe then.
He's miles.
I was like, I'm just going to say this doesn't look out to me and it's going to hit the stumps. That would have been the funniest case, but that has not happened. So.
That literally happens to every commentator every time, dude. Your entire life is going to be doing that.
Oh, Jared, but like whenever I've been watching cricket a lot of times, another thing that happens with me is when the ball goes up in the air, I'm like, oh, this guy is gone, and it goes for a 6.
It's the worst. It's the worst problem when it comes to commentating on TV, off tube.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to have a look at the guy who's worst at it ever was Laxman Shivaram because he never looked away from the screen. And so if you go back and listen to his commentary, listen to the amount of times, and he couldn't help himself, he would say, oh, that's out. And it would go like 48 rows back or the opposite, right? And he would do it over and over again. Because once the ball leaves the screen, how do we know? Right? And even if the camera arcs up with it, it's just the sky most of the time, right?
That is fair.
So Daniel Norcross...
Because you can middle the ball also, and it can just go straight to the fielder, right? Like you can't even determine that.
Yeah, exactly. And so Daniel Norcross taught me the best thing, which is, and that's high. It's high, and it's 6. Oh,
yes.
That's high. Oh, and it's out.
I do this a bit on these watchalongs. I definitely do this one.
It's the only cheat there is, guys, because otherwise you just can't. You just can't do it.
That's a very valid point.
I think that's the hardest one is the TV.
It's a bit like batting, right? Don't commit too early, essentially.
Oh my God, Rian Parag just whacks this across the line for 6. That looked like the shot of a man who's pissed off he hasn't made any runs this year.
It also seemed like a bit of a no-look shot. Wow. It's happening a lot more often these days. What are your thoughts on that, Jared? Like a lot of batters attempting the no look. Yesterday we saw Salil, attempt that versus Bumrah too.
Well, it's not. It's not a no look shot, is it?
I mean, is there any cricketing merit to it, or it's just about
No, but
the
it's not a no
showmanship?
look shot. I mean, fundamentally, what's the super close up of this? He just kept his eyes on the ball until the ball hit the bat.
Yeah,
So it's not a
of
no look
course.
shot. What you're
That would
trying
be
to do,
epic.
if you think about this, an edge flies through slip for four here. If you think about it fundamentally, right? What's the biggest problem, especially younger kids have when they're batting, right? It's that they lift their head.
Okay.
I would say this probably comes out of coaching for a lot of different people, where the coaches are saying, you don't need to see where the ball's gone once you've hit it, right? You can always catch up with the ball. You've all got the non-striker down the other end as well. What you need to make sure, what's the most important thing? That you actually see the ball hit the bat, right? And so if you're going for a big hit, specifically if you're going for a big hit, right, you want to keep your head down as long as possible. You've played cricket. What did coaches say? Keep your head down. Keep your head down. Keep your head down. That's all they're doing. It's not a no-look shot, as this is an incredible shot over covers by Parag here. Backs away, comes down the wicket, and just slaps this over covers. Timing on that was ridiculous.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were saying, Jared.
Yeah. So how many times have you ever been told by a coach to keep your head down?
But about this, even then, like, how does it? I mean, do you think it actually makes that much of a difference of watching the ball? I mean, now tracking the ball after you've hit it. Do you think that head position changes slightly if you're already anticipating watching the ball go in that direction instead of just focusing and keeping your head down?
So most players, what happens is you're trained in your neuroplasticity, right, to watch the ball, right? Have you played golf?
Twice, a grand total of 2 times.
So when you're playing golf, right, the hardest thing again is to keep your head down the whole time, because when you move your club back, that's the movement that you see. Now your club's moving through the ball, and as you are about to hit the ball, your eyes naturally go, well, the ball's going to go over here now, right? And cricketers do exactly the same thing. The only difference in cricket and tennis is the ball is moving, right? So the only difference, it's very, very similar. Tennis, it doesn't go under your eyes, but it's all the same kind of thing of your eyes are tracking the ball, and then they're tracking the ball, and then they're tracking the ball, right? And so you see this in basketball. I'm sure it happens in football as well. Probably rugby as well. You see sometimes when someone is past a ball, right? They actually automatically start looking at what they're going to do next, which is the next pass or the next shot or whatever their movement is. And their hands are almost ahead of them, right? And that's what happens in cricket. So the vast majority of people who decide to hit the ball hard will lift their head before they actually make contact. All the no-look shot is doing is keeping their head down until contact, and then doing it. It's actually, I don't know if you remember Cameron White.
Yeah,
right? I'm trying to think of another player who did this. Someone might remember another more recent version of this. But it's for me, I actually don't think it's that much different than people who hold the pose.
Got it.
So Cameron White, when he would drive, if you remember, that big, strong guy, and when he would drive, he would get his head down, and then he would play through the thing, and then he would almost stay there. The difference is his head would slowly come up, but his hands wouldn't move. He's not running straight away, right? He knows he's trying to hit a 6. He's hit through the line, and he's holding the pose, right?
Oh.
Most players aren't doing that. As they're hitting the ball, they're going to plan B, plan C, plan, whatever that may be. So I honestly think that the no-look shot is just that. It's just keeping your head down a little bit longer and knowing that in that particular moment, you are trying to hit the 6. And I think it would be a hard thing to train yourself on, but it's not a no-look shot. That's just the name we've given it.
Yeah, of course, it's just a name. But yeah, again, what are you saying? There is actually some cricketing merit to it. I thought there's absolutely no cricketing merit to not watching the ball, but yeah, it does make sense.
It'd be great to get someone like Robbie on or something as well to see whether he thinks. See, I'm trying to remember.
Pollard was also someone who would sort of tend to, maintain his pose after.
Yeah, Matt Pollard's a good version of that. Yeah, there was someone. Sometimes what happens is that there will be something that will come from your training, right, that actually ends up being more important to the way you play the sport, if that makes sense, right? So, for instance, I think in Rian Parag's case, right, or anyone else who's played the shot, because are we basically saying that Brevis is the first guy that we noticed doing this? This one, is that right? Is that the general consensus?
Pretty much, yeah. In pop culture, so to say, but yeah, he's the one.
Yeah.
He's the one who made it popular.
So outside of that, my guess is that Brevis did it, and then probably some coaches went, actually, this makes sense. Because he knows on that ball, because how often do you see the no-look shot when someone's looking for a single? It's almost always going for a boundary, right?
Yeah.
And so worst case scenario is you've hit it and it's one bounced along off. You're still going to have enough time to react to make it through for the single. So realistically, it makes more and more sense as Parag comes down. Jarrell comes down the wicket here and plays a lovely late dab. I thought he was almost beaten by Akshar, but he caught up with it with his hands, and that's 4. So I do think there's an element of that to it. But yeah, I could be wrong here, but have you ever? What kind of cricketer were you?
As an all-rounder, pace bowling all-rounder.
Pace bowling all-rounder. There's a thing that you will see with leg spinners that happens quite a lot, right? When you start seeing a leg spinner cocking his hand before he comes in, right? Watch for it. It's quite often when someone's out of form, or they're not feeling it very well. That's good fielding here. I thought that was going to be another 4. Good cut shot again. It's quite often when someone's out of form, and then some bowlers do it for their whole career. And I'm positive that has come from the fact that occasionally what has happened is that they're not cocking their wrist correctly, and so they're almost pre-cocking their wrist, right? And so I'm sure there are leg spinners in the world who cock their wrist now sometimes because they've seen other famous leg spinners pre-cock their wrist rather than them having to do the thing. Does that make sense? Does that follow kind of through what I'm saying? Yeah.
I mean, to sort of put it simply, you're saying it's basically to try and wire your brain. This is what you've got to do. This is what will sort of, you need to replicate this, like that motion or something like it's essentially telling your brain that this is what you've got to do. So
yeah, I mean, I would have to talk to Brevis or his coaches. Like CS is the guy to talk to, right? CS will, who works with us, who was just in the CSK documentary about Brevis. He's probably the one who'll be able to find this out the most. But we'll try and get him on it. We may not be able to get him on it by the end of the IPL. But my guess is it probably comes out of something to do with keep your head down. So if you look at a younger kid, have you ever done any coaching yourself with kids?
I haven't coached kids, not a lot, no.
If you do, that's the big thing with kids. When they want to hit the ball hard, their heads just lift, right? And you see it I've never coached golf, but you can see it in golf really, really simply as well. And in tennis, it's slightly different. In tennis, it's almost more that you're looking towards the next shot, right? Okay. And you'll see people as I said, basketball, and I assume rugby would have this issue as well. Sometimes the people are getting the ball and they're already starting to do the next thing. It's almost like that. Sometimes you almost have to change the way you think about things to get it in the right thing. Anyway, cool deeps coming in, and this is whipped down the ground for 1.
Very interesting. It's just one more thing, like similar to this, there's also Rishabh Pant's sort of one-handed sixes. I don't think there's any direct connection to that. Like both of these in general are looked at as examples of showmanship. This is something done for the cameras. But even with the one-handed sixes, I remember reading this somewhere. There is cricketing merit to why Pant does that. Like there were people talking about how is he being able to hit sixes with just one hand. It's not just one hand. Yeah, it's he's being able to sort of generate a lot more power because it's getting that full swing. It's like a catapult. So it was very fascinating to read that again.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really good example of, I call them one-hand sixes as well, but they obviously aren't. But we use that nomenclature. I think it's also something to do with just the follow-through he has, right? And that has something to do with the power of which he's looking at, right? So if you look at Sooryavanshi, his follow through is like going back to the back of his shoulder blades, right? Whereas we just talked about Pollard and Cameron White. They don't swing that way, right? Their bats stay forwards afterwards. So so it's, those are just different methods of hitting the ball. And, when I really learned about all this sort of stuff was through the England team when they were talking about power fades. And I was like saying to the England boys, off the record, like, guys, what the fuck are you talking about? And they were like, when you play golf and the ball just fades away, that's what we're trying to do. Because we think that when you hit it traditionally like a cricket shot, it goes up and you don't get all the power going through the ball. And and that point, I think they were starting to talk about launch angles and all that sort of stuff. But essentially, if you look at them, they're really hitting the ball almost more like an ice hockey or a golfer than they are a cricketer traditionally. And Butler's the perfect example of that shot that Butler plays. And lots of guys do that now, right? That wasn't the case not that long ago. You would get your front elbow down and you would extend through, and that's how you hit the ball a long way. We also learn a lot more. We've also learned a lot more about ground force, right? Which is something that I don't think I'd ever heard anyone talk about ground force in cricket until recently. Cheyenne is back. That wasn't that long a poo, mate. Good first over from Kuldeep. This might have jinxed him for the last ball. I have not jinxed him for the last ball. They're going at 9s.
Yeah.
What was the expected total on this wicket? Do we know?
No. Not bad. 12 for 2 after 2 from there. This is pretty
It's a decent
recovery
rebuild, I
from
think. Pretty
Parag.
solid rebuild, actually.
Delhi is a 53% chance of winning from here. And the run line is 190 at the moment. Let's see if I can see what else it has been. So it was pretty consistently over 200 to start with. So it has come down a little bit, but it's getting back towards 200 again.
Also, Sean, I was just thinking about that. If Adam Milne is that.
Oh, this is a big 6. He's just plugged his front foot down, step and hit from Parag, and hit this over long on. Sorry, actually.
Yeah. No, we were earlier discussing about RR's impact sub. So they fielded only 3 overseas players. So in all likelihood, they will probably bring in Shanaka or Adam Milne based on who they need. But if Milne comes in, what is going to be his role? They've already got Berger and Archer.
Yeah. This is the Jacob Duffy conversation, right? Where you already have 2 new ball bowlers in that
Oh
team.
my God,
where
he's
does
hit
he even
another
fit
one.
in?
This time he stayed in his crease. This is almost a Patadal-like shot, this one. And it's whacked
that's a
over
good
wide
one.
bin wicket for 6.
Yeah.
Is he going to go 6 sixes again, Jared? He has done that in the IPL. 6 sixes in a row. Not in the same over, but in his 6 balls.
Yeah, I think he,
Versus
even
KKR.
earlier off Jameson, he went 3 or 4 boundaries in a row, didn't he? So even though his strike rate is not ridiculous, he's hit almost all of his boundaries like next to each other, Cheyenne, so far.
Yeah, it's a very, that sort of an innings where you have streaks where you go 4-4-6 and then after that you just knock it around for a bit and then you again have it. Yeah.
Why is Badani is not one bit amused, man, that reaction. Right, let's see how does Akshar come back here.
And this just punched down to long off for 1 run.
Pulled his length a bit back, I think.
We've got a few super chats. We can probably take them as well.
I was just about to say that, yeah. Oops. Karthik says, do you think RCB needs Virat? Him facing 30 plus balls has been very important for RCB to win. Others can rotate strike or keep the run flowing. And also, whenever Rapa comes in the power play, we have lost. KP at 4 in the power play. Good bowling from Akshar. Just to pull this one back. I like the fact that in there, I like the combination of Kohli and Salt together. Because you can't really bowl pace to them. And if you're going to bowl spin to Kohli, I kind of feel like in the power play is the best time to bowl it to him. And then outside the power play, they've got other guys who can score against the spin, right? And Salt's going to keep going.
Yeah, the issue with bowling spin in the power play is if Kohli and Salt are batting, then Salt will take down spin. He's not going to leave you. Right? He's giving you those 15, 20
But even
run
Kohli
overs.
will launch a couple over the ropes, right?
Yeah,
Like
he can. Yeah.
You know, so that's why I like that partnership altogether. So
Yeah, that's a good one.
but I like the way their entire batting lineup is constructed. Let's compare that to Delhi, as we just said, which doesn't make as much sense.
Yeah.
Yash says, with 5 overseas, how many IP towels without dropping quality? Oh, okay. So if we had 5 overseas players, how many extra teams could we bring in without losing quality? It's probably 2. It's not. I don't think it's a big
2 or
difference.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you really don't want to drop off in quality, probably the best thing to do is just get rid of the overseas limits altogether. And you could probably
like the Premier League, right?
Yeah, and you could probably have, 16 or 18 teams without a significant drop-off? In fact, yeah, so I think after that, I mean, you still, in this league, we still have people like Glenn Phillips who've never had, like, massive years before in T20 cricket. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's probably fair. Avi says, I look at Jarrell playing IPL, and it looks like he's presenting his case for the Indian ODI team. Or is it just a matter of role or a matter of skill? Well, they lost 2 early wickets today, so I suppose that's probably changed him today from normal games, right?
No, I think it's been a trend, Jared. Bit of a trend this IPL that he does take his
This
time.
season, yeah.
This season?
This season.
Isn't that just because he's not in form?
I mean, he did start the season in some great form, did he not? Like, I think
Yeah, I
his
suppose
first
you're
couple
right.
of innings,
Yeah.
he looked really good.
Were they slow
After that,
starting?
Sorry?
Were those slow starting?
The RCB innings I remember because we were on the watch along. I think they bowled Abhinandan to him and he completely took him on. But I think apart from that, number 3, I feel like it's good for him in some ways, where he can just build an innings properly. Maybe finishing is not the right role for him. But then the way the modern game is going, you also cannot bat too slow. So I think today it's fine because they lost early wickets. I don't have much of an issue with this approach at the moment.
Yeah, I think he's probably in this side to knock the ball around, if we're being honest. So
Exactly.
I think he's probably playing the way they want.
They
him
want
to.
him to. That I think that makes sense. Yeah.
Avi says, wasn't Siam Ayub the one to hit the no-look shot a lot?
He does do that.
Yeah. I don't think we said he doesn't. What we were asking is, was Brevis the one who made it famous and was the first one?
Yeah.
That was that question about that. Code Noob says, Shine, tell us about LSG Super Over game experience.
This was a very hilarious experience, actually. Because I think there was someone sitting next to me. So the guy on my right, he told me that Shami will hit a 6 and it will be a tie. And that is exactly what happened. And then in the Super Over, it was like the guy on my left, he's like, Puran is not in form. He's not going to do anything. And he will get out. And Puran got out. And then the guy on my right, again, he said first ball they will hit a 4 and it will be over. So I was like, what even is happening here,
Okay,
guys?
if you are predicting that Mohammad Shami is going to hit a 6, I think mad respect to you. If you're predicting that Puran's going to go out, that's almost like saying it's raining and it's wet outside.
No, exactly. What I'm really saying is that it's a combination of 3 different things. I
No,
don't miss
just
the last
joking,
one, right? The first ball also going for a 4. Bit of a funny experience.
So we were on the Watchalong, Cheyenne, and Robbie had like a virus that day, and he hadn't done many Watchalongs, and he was like trying to get through it anyway. And he was getting really tired, and it was about 15 minutes before the end, and I was just about to send him a message, just going, just go to bed, dude. You don't need to do this. And then I didn't, and of course, from that moment onwards, you can't really send him away because it got more and more exciting every ball. So he ended up doing like an extra half an hour of work that he wasn't even planning on doing. I'm not sure he's been on a watch along since. He's probably still recovering.
Yeah.
That was a horrible game.
I mean, lots of things were happening actually in that match. I was like,
And
the
I don't think I've
Raghuvanshi
seen
game.
a...
Worst game of cricket.
Yeah, I
BL
was trying to
Grafico.
say I don't think. Yeah, I don't think I've come across a worse decision. Like I've seen a more worse decision. I don't know how like whatever the superlative even beyond worse that can be used here. How can you send Puran and Pant? Like how? Like in what world does that make sense? You have Moody, Langer, Klusner, Williamson, and this is what you guys came up with. I mean, it must have taken a lot of restraint on Goenka's part to not come out there and just whack everyone, whack the living daylights out of everyone. Right, last ball of the 10th over.
Yep.
Single. Not bad. 90 for two. I think it's a decent platform for them to try and go up to like 190, 200 from here at least, if not more.
Yeah, they should look for. I think against Delhi, you do need, like, I want to say 210 plus, somewhere around that, a bit more, a bit above par is basically what I'm saying, because they've got so many of these different kinds of anchors. Today, I mean, they don't have Miller, but I mean, just the fact that Nissanka and KL are very similar, and now Stubbs also takes his time. Uh, I mean, Nitish Rana is probably not in the best of form either. So
Yeah.
I
And
really
Sabi
don't know how
Rizvi is like,
confident Rizvi made runs in the first two games, right? Like, and after that, it's just not been the same.
yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, the only game that's happened in Jaipur so far saw 228 being chased down by SRH. So RR will also have to keep that in mind that they were the ones who conceded that in the second inning. So they will want to try and score as many as possible. And to be honest, the surface also has been fairly batter friendly. I don't think there's been any demons or anything like that.
Yeah, it seems like
That's
a
a
normal good
four.
pitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, he whacked that in a really weird way, straight to cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rohit's asked about the thoughts on yesterday's catch.
What did you think, Jared? Yeah.
So I'm just reading up on the law at the moment. My issue with it is that I think the law is fine, but that it wasn't actually looked at, that it wasn't actually acted on correctly. So unless the MCC or the ICC come out and say anything, I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. But the way I look at what happened yesterday is either they thought his fingers were under the ball in this direction, which I don't think you can guess that his hand was completely under the ball in that way. I think Bayram did, but no one else really did. There's no way he was in control. He was still moving in an uncomfortable way when the ball hits the ground the first time. I think the second one, when he puts the ball down to get up off the ground, that's the one that I believe that they changed and they said, no, we're not going to give that out anymore, right? And I'm okay with that. I still don't think fielders should be doing it. But the first one, when Holder is there, is he's still moving from, this is whacked in the air out to deep cover. I'll get a couple. The first one, he's still moving to get himself comfortable. I don't think you would say he's fully in control of his movements and the catch at that point. Like if he'd done the exact same thing with his hand and his hand had hit the ground and then the ball had fallen, we would have all said that's not out, right? Whereas if he took the catch, doesn't hit the ground first, and then as he's getting up, he pushes off the ground and the ball falls down, I think we would have to say at that stage he was in control of it and it's still a catch. Does that make sense, Sean? Because you're looking at me like I just explained quantum physics to you.
No, I think that's a fair take. Actually, I was having a discussion on this with my dad as well earlier in the day, where he felt it was out. The Patidar one, that is, I'm saying. He felt that it was out. I was like, I don't know if he's grasped it. Maybe it shouldn't be out then, because the way I had the Rob Barron photo, and he was very much on the train that it's definitely not out. And then Saurabh was also like, no, it's not out. Then I saw, after having a chat with my dad, I saw another clip actually by the JB boys, and they were also saying that the way they interpreted it was also that it shouldn't be given out. That one.
So my understanding of what happened yesterday was the umpires made a mistake, and I haven't heard it explained. So sorry, I haven't covered that news story extensively. But based on what I know in cricket and what I know of that law and the playing conditions and everything else that are involved with it, I think that should have been not out.
Yeah.
But
That-
you got to
this is
remember
a game.
how many mistakes
Right.
are made by umpires all the way through all games. Like, it's a very normal thing that happens.
Like, I don't know if it's a mistake, Jared, but if you just go back to the very first game, the RCB versus SRH one, where Phil Salt took a catch, and that was a bit of a controversial one as well, right? Like, that was definitely also not straightforward. So I think both of these are probably 50-50. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. So it's part of the game.
And do you know what? I think this one's probably 80-20. And I think that's the other thing that people online, like, you see it in the comments sometimes when we're doing the watch-alongs, is this one is whacked over covers for 4, and Parag moves to 54 off 33. Bad full toss by Natarajan.
Yeah.
People are like Vignesh was saying it the other day. There was that one on the boundary rope. It might have been even in the super over game where they kept showing one on the boundary rope over and over again. And Vignesh is like, look, the triangle's moving. And we're like, and none of us could see it moving except for him. But there was a towel moving, right? And I think Vignesh's eyes had just got confused. And that happens all the time. Sometimes you see the trousers move or the shoes move and you think it's the triangle, right? It's really hard for your eyes to look at 3 different things at the same time. Like, some things make it look like something is moving. Anyone who's ever been to a science museum knows exactly what I'm talking about here. As this
Quantum
is
physics.
whacked again over deep cover.
Ooh.
Oh, I mean, I keep saying
Proper
deep cover.
forehand,
It's
that.
Whoa.
wide mid-off cover, extra cover, however you want to see it. But that is a
Extra, yeah,
ridiculous
yeah.
shot.
Just,
Excellent. That went for the 6, man. Well done.
yeah. Absolutely unexpected shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the point being is, I think everyone thinks things are out or not out. Actually, lots of things are not out or not out, right? We can all look at a caught behind like 20 times, right? And hundreds of us, not everyone will say that is out or not out. And people don't, because this is all new, people always thought before you're either out or not out. The truth is, I did this once and Bumble got really upset. I put this tweet up once going, okay, so this is happening. We've all seen this in real time. How many of you think that was out? And how many of you think that was not out, right? And Bumble, I think, thought that I was like trying to get the crowd to explain, like to come up with the idea I wanted. But actually what I was trying to do is show, okay, so 66% of you said it was out and 33% of you said it was not out, right?
Yeah.
So if that's the case, that means it is not a clear-cut decision. So no one can sit here and tell me that 100% they know this is out or not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but at what point do you think that margin shifts? Where maybe if it's 95-5?
But if the umpire is the 5, it's still going to be. Do you know what I mean? This is where I think people don't understand that. So like, okay, that one yesterday, your dad, Bayram, and the umpire, all probably in that 20% group, right?
Yeah, correct.
Everyone else is in the other 80%. But it could be 99.9% all believe it's not out. And the 0.1%, which might still be like 100,000 people, like in a really big game, India-Pakistan game, right?
Yeah.
But if the umpire is one of them, it doesn't matter. There was a run out. I think it was a BGT. I don't think it was this BGT. I think it was another one. Oh, Jarrell comes down, drills this. Back over the head of Akshar, 1 bounce for 4, I think.
Oh.
There was a run out. I want to say...
Feels like a 6, Jared.
Oh, was it 6?
Yeah,
I
that
thought
is a
it just
6.
bounced.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a run out in the BGT. I think it was Tim Payne that was batting, but I could be wrong. Maybe he was the keeper anyway. And it was like, we watched 43 different angles of it. And this one might go to long on. And it is, it's out. It's caught. And very good job by Tristan Stubbs to not put the ball on the ground there intentionally as he started to fall. He went, no, I'm not going to. I can't remember what it was, but it was a I'm pretty sure it was in a BGT series.
I kind of think it's the 2021, I want to say. 2020-21.
Do you remember they showed a run out like 1,000 times? There was no way.
I feel like I do remember it. Yes.
Yeah, there's no way for anyone to be sure of that run out, right? There is no correct decision. There is just a decision.
Jared, there's the Virat Kohli catch as well back in Perth 2018 where he played one of his best knocks ever and Hanscom at Slim. He took the catch, but like it was a very controversial one because there's like, did he grass it or did he not?
Yeah, there's heaps of those, right?
And this year, you guys are still talking about the this is still a lot more objective in that people think it's out or not out. What we also aren't considering is the umpire's own interpretation of the law and everything. And this is something.
Yeah.
So if that itself is different, then you can't do anything about it. Because that happens a lot more in.
Yeah, not just the umpire's interpretation, right? But like you might think that someone is in control earlier than I think someone's in control.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. I
Rob
think this
Barron
is
thinks
the
every drop is a drop, right? And Robbie thinks most drops are not drops, right? So there's a spectrum there, and in the
Yes,
middle,
yes,
it's probably
certainly.
closer to the truth, right? But everyone is
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, perfectly. I think it's
Exactly.
the way you said, Jared, that the perception of control for different people is different. I think that really
Yeah.
sums up the argument that I was having with my dad, where his thing was you can catch the ball, but then if you drop it, then it's a catch, right? Like it's not that you can just do that. It's like, yeah, that's also a valid point, but he grasped it. So I don't know, like
I'm, pre-
at a certain
I'm
point.
pretty sure Herschel Gibbs is also making the same argument for the last 20 years.
So that's a perfect. Him and remember Ben Stokes did that as well. They were definitely not in control of those catches, right? There's no like maybe 0.1% of people are going to be on the other side of that, right? There's a question for you here, Sean.
Yeah, I suppose so. Finally, some runs for him.
Can I just
He's
say,
looking-
so we made him the most improved player, and then everyone attacked me, right? And I was like, well, wait a minute. If anyone got paid here, it was Cheyenne. He's the one that wrote the piece.
Yes.
He's the one that clearly contacted some PR agency involved with
Yeah.
Rian Parag or his dad or whatever it may be. And if Cheyenne made money off Rian Parag's PR family, then I missed out on it. I did not receive any of this money.
Certainly.
Rohit says, can allowing unlimited bouncer bring back balance? I've seen so many people recently say,
Yes,
what can
the
we do
very
to bring back
common-
balance? Here's what we can do to bring back balance. Get rid of the impact sub.
Yeah, that's the most obvious one. I think
It is
most
the
people
most-
are not pro impact sub. They are not. Even cricketers aren't.
No. Aaron Briggs, the guy who's into the scientist who cuts the cricket balls in half for the ECB and
Yeah.
makes all this. He said to me once, I think you go too hard on the wobble ball. Like, there are lots of other things that changed around in cricket at that stage, and you say the wobble ball caused this. And I was like, yeah, I think going on. I said, but Aaron, I've done the numbers. The 2 years before World Test Championship came in, the averages had already dropped against pace bowling.
Exactly. Yes,
Right?
yes, they had.
World Test Championship comes in the middle of June 2019. The average, I started noticing the average drop in middle of 2017, right? And so there's no way you can look around it. It comes well before World Test Championship points come on, right? And
Agreed.
so we know that was the case. It's the same with this. We know that the Indian team is now whacking the ball outside of impact sub. We've seen them do it in
250s and 2 knockouts, Jared. Twice
Exactly.
they've gone to 50 plus.
Right. But we also know that the big change is the fact that it was all unleashed by the impact sub, because before this, no one was playing like this. We could see the data change.
Yeah.
The first year, there's like a little tick up where players are like, maybe we should push a little bit harder. Next year, there's like, oh, no, fuck it. Let's just go for it. It is so obvious, guys.
Jared, I would say I have to give credit to Travis Sheikh here, to be honest. I think they really showed us the limits of what is possible in the power play, because nobody was playing like that before. They were not.
I was going to say specifically the power play bit is them. To be fair, a lot of other guys, I think, have also picked up the middle overs stuff, right?
Yeah, now that's happening, right? With the likes of Klassen, Pateda, and these sorts of guys. Shreyas, in a sense, I
RCB,
mean,
the middle overs this season have been like wild.
Yeah.
they have collapsed a couple of times as well, to be fair. But yeah.
According to
that's
Deepak, didn't Deepak just throw them under the bus yesterday in his video?
What did he say? I have no idea.
I think the title was like something about RCB collapsing all the time, and I was like, I'm not sure that game is the one I would be using as evidence. There's a great Yorker from Natarajan here that hit, I want to say, it must have been Parag on the pad. It was a great Yorker, and they're just having a discussion about reviewing it. It had to be outside leg stump. We're about to see now.
Jared, what do you think about Jadeja's entry point here? Because there is
I was
some
actually
merit.
thinking about that, yeah.
Because maybe he can just knock it around for a bit and let Parag keep going the way he is. But at a certain point, you have to also press the accelerator, right? So depends on how many they're aiming for, I think.
I suppose a lot of it also depends on whether Jadeja still has that fifth gear, right?
Yeah, I think that's a valid point. I think maybe they're not seeing him as a finisher only in that case. Maybe they want Shubham Dubey to do that job, who just did that. Ferreira as well, actually.
Yeah.
They've still got Ferreira, by the way.
Avi says, if you can't sustain the pressure of strike rate, do you play like an anchor? Acceleration doesn't mean you suddenly decide to hit every ball for six. You can't sustain the pressure of strike rate. do you play like?
Why do you play like an anchor? I
why do you
assume this
play
is
like
for
an-
Kohli. It feels like that.
Um,
I don't know.
so generally, what happens in these sorts of situations is that players believe that is the method that works the best for them. You got to remember that players are runs coded, not strike rate coded, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that many. If I talk to 100 one-day international players or T20 players, there's almost a run out here as they go for two. I would be shocked how many would be able to roughly get their strike rate correct, right?
Yeah, correct.
But if you ask them about average, most of them would know.
I mean, Robbie is a
close.
good example, right, Jared? He was telling us about his Pune Warrior run, and he was telling us, oh, I averaged like 400 runs a season or something like that. That's a very easy shorthand as well, I think, for those players.
So firstly, it comes from that. The second thing that it comes from is that players were the generation of players who are now over 30 were brought up playing ODI cricket and following a template that everyone else played, right?
Yeah.
Virat Kohli is having the Mitchell Raj problem in real time, right? Which is
Yeah, you said this.
he plays this backward point. It's going to be a run out. It has to be a run out. It is not a run out because who's wicket keeping for Delhi?
KL
Rahul.
Rahul.
Did not run to the stumps.
He did not, yes.
He did not
just-
run to the stumps.
The man did not run.
Jadeja has poked this to backward point. There was a misfield. He thought there was a run, but he was running on his own. Parag never wanted to run. And KL Rahul did not move. And you have no idea how much this annoys me, everyone. This is people who are not full-time wicketkeepers do this all the time. AB de Villiers used to do this every game. He would miss like 3 runouts a game by just not going to the stumps. Anyway, dot ball.
Yes.
I can't believe what was Jadeja doing. Rahul, of course, this is.
Yeah,
but
that's
they-
also
they-
actually
Yeah.
very true. I don't think there was a single layer.
Yeah.
Was it?
Just trolling. Literally just trolling. And
What's
and-
weird
Is it worth the risk anyway?
Yeah.
Is it worth the risk of taking a single?
It was very odd. It's very odd you see someone sort of jogging themselves into more danger, right?
Yeah.
There
Like,
was a
what is the
no
best
call made,
outcome that
that's
can
it.
happen? You can take a single. The worst is you might get Riyan Parag run out, the said batter. I don't understand the trade-off. You were saying the Mithali Raj problem, Jared?
Yeah, which is Mitchell Raj was set up absolutely perfectly for how women's cricket was run when she came into the game. And she did exactly what she was supposed to do. And no one had ever done it better, right? But during her career, the game evolved so far, right? And she could only ever evolve enough to catch up with it. Some people can, right? Like there are people who do that. But Kohli has actually evolved a fair bit.
I think he has.
Don't want to
He's doing
compare
his
him
job.
to Rizwan or Babar Azam, right?
Yeah.
But he's evolved a hell of a lot more than them. And I would say he probably evolved quicker than Steve Smith did as well.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. For comfortable.
Williamson didn't really evolve either,
Yeah.
Nope.
right? So there's lots of guys who haven't evolved. Do you give more credit to someone like Joe Root, who probably did get it earlier on and at least tried, and then
One day
never got-
cricket, right?
Yeah, and then never got picked again, so it never mattered. But
Yeah, in T20s, they stopped picking him only. Yeah.
But yeah. Thanks for the question.
The second ball was a very good googly to Jadeja.
Yeah, it was,
from
wasn't it?
Kuldeep. Yeah.
I also think, Jared, there is an element of where, like, let's say 3 years ago, Kohli was playing all 3 formats. Now he's only playing one-day cricket and T20 in the IPL. So it's much easier to adapt now. Like, he can go rogue and play all of these shots and take more risks. Because when you're a 3-format guy, I think it's also harder to adapt. So we're seeing this thing now with KL Rahul, right? Like, how hard can he go? He also needs to know that he's a test match player for India. He's also a one-day player. So
KL Rahul might have got a run out
Oh.
here.
Oh, run out. Oh,
At
He's
this
I don't
time,
think that is a... No,
I think
no,
he's
no.
in.
that,
Oh.
he's
He's in. I definitely think he's in.
No, he's in.
That was a very weird sort of a thing.
Rahul
Was the
seemed
throw
happy
not
with
good
that
enough?
It was
I don't
probably
think
just a bit slow, the throw, wasn't it?
Yes, and
He
that's
was
what
off
even I think.
balance. Yeah, Ashutosh was off balance because he dived and everything, so fine.
Fair.
The only question I have, and I don't think KL did the wrong thing here, but I wonder if he'd left that ball, it would have hit direct. Let's
Oh,
have another
wait,
look.
let's
But
have
Rahul
a...
burnt his hands in the
I
last
think he
game.
still would have got
It's a
in.
good save. Yeah, it's a very good save. I think, yeah, fair.
Yeah.
It's actually a net
If he'd let
positive
it hit
fielding
direct,
effort.
it would have been a couple of inches quicker. Because he took the ball in front of the stumps.
Yeah. But about that, Jared, Rahul, I think he burnt his hands in the last game itself, where, there was a ball that was very close to the stumps and
Oh,
he just
like-
let it be. and it went through. So I guess he's decided now he's not leaving anything. Just hold on.
This one
to it.
is whacked back at the Kuldeep
Ooh.
by Parag. Almost takes his head
Shot.
off and goes for 4. Yes, I know about that one. I've forgotten that I've been slagging off KL Royals keeping in multiple games, and I'm going to put that down as a note.
Oh boy. Is Nissanka that bad a keeper?
Nissanka is not a wicketkeeper. I don't think he's ever kept.
He is a wicket keeper. No,
Professionally.
he is a wicket keeper.
Pretty sure he's
He's
kept.
not
know
kept for
about-
Sri Lanka. I'm
But yeah, he doesn't
100%
keep
sure.
much, yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
I have never seen him.
technically everyone's a wicketkeeper now. Mitchell Starc and Jofra Archer are also wicketkeepers.
Remember, Jared, when I don't know if you were on that watch along, but I had asked Robbie because he was also a fielder and also a wicketkeeper, right? So how did he start when he was growing up? And it's like, I was an all-rounder when I was growing up. I used to bowl off spin.
I mean, for my school team, first
Yeah.
year I was a leg spinner. Second year I was a wicket keeper. Third year I became a pace bowling all round, and it just stuck. So it just kept changing.
Well, when I was young, and I played, there was like 3 or 4 of us who were really good who probably should have played a higher level of cricket, but we all played at the same age limit, so we went up with each other. And we were all the wicketkeeper, right? So I would generally, every second game I would keep, and then one of the opening bowlers would finish their spell, and then they would take the gloves. And then the next game we would swap over, and the other spinner would keep in the first 10 or 15 overs, and then the other opening bowler would do it. So that was a really normal thing. We didn't have a kid who was. We tried to train. That's one of the reasons now I train up young wicketkeepers so much, because we tried to and we just couldn't find another kid who could keep. And all of our best keepers were also all of our best bowlers. So the best way of managing it was to just share it amongst all of us, And one of us was, well, actually, the 2 opening bowlers I thought were much better at keeping than the 2 spinners, but we didn't have a choice. It's either that or you open with a spinner, right? But I was very much. I kept like a slip fielder, and so did my friend. But the 2 opening bowlers were quite good. They were quite good technically and everything else. But the whole time we played, I don't think we ever found someone who could just keep at that at the level of any of the 4 of us who were bowlers. And we played together for 8 years, right? And we just never had anyone else come into the club who could just keep.
So I actually looked up Nissanka in T20 cricket. He has never kept. In professional T20s, he's never taken the gloves.
I know he
So
registered.
if he's not done
himself
it,
as
I
a
doubt he's done it
wicketkeeper
for
at the
Sri Lanka.
auction. No, at the auction he registered
must-
himself as a wicketkeeper. So that's all. That was what I was going.
That sounds
Maybe
like
he's
his
trying to
agent.
learn it. Yeah. good one. Yeah.
Corey Anderson's agent listed him as a bowler. Remember?
I think RCB took the memo quite seriously, did they not? Jared 2018.
Yeah, you do see it though a lot. When I was working a lot, sometimes you would look at someone and go, "This guy's listed as a batter, but he's a bowler, isn't he?" It's like the agents just do whatever they think is going to get their dude paid.
But that's I understand keeping, right? Because it changes the flexibility of your side if your overseas player can also keep. I don't know what purpose does it even fulfill in the first place to mismark a player? You have him as a batter, as a bowler, or vice versa. That is not adding any value.
Well, everyone is always listed as an all-rounder.
Yeah, and
That is another thing, Jared. But
I don't have
you
a
can change
single
the
game.
specialist.
I've just had a look. Nissanka has played 354 professional games, and
Yeah.
I don't have him wicket-keeping in one.
Exactly.
Not to say he can't.
I mean,
Rory Burns and Ollie Pope. had almost
Ankush
never
Raghuvanshi,
kept-
Jared, in this very IPL, he
Raghuvanshi,
has
yeah.
also kept, right?
Yeah.
He never kept at
Even in
professional
the-
level before this.
I mean, even in the WPL, Abhishek Nair created a wicketkeeper out of Shweta Sehwag.
Yeah, we had
She's
this
never
discussion. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that Rory Burns was a wicketkeeper, and then he got to Surrey and they had 4 or 5 other wicketkeepers, and he just never kept professionally. I think he has a few times now, but yeah, that does happen to people, right? And do you know where it happens more than anywhere else? Is Sri Lanka, because every batter in Sri Lanka is 4'2", and they can all wicket keep. Right? If there have been 11s where there have been 5 professional Sri Lanka wicketkeepers in a team. right? So
And
if it's going to happen to anyone, it would happen to Nasanka. And Nasanka is actually shorter than the stumps. So he's probably definitely a wicketkeeper.
and also with the auction,
Short height for
definitely helps
keeping.
in terms of,
Why is it better, Jared? Technically, sorry to interrupt you.
You keep low.
Ah,
Hardest.
yeah.
It's easier
Especially
to
to
high.
spin, right?
Yeah.
That's
It's
what I
less
was
so
thinking.
now in modern cricket, but in conventional cricket, you wanted to keep as low as possible all the time.
Yeah.
And also, if you're a tall wicketkeeper, you get back issues, right? Walcott got back issues. I don't know. There's a couple of others that have had the same thing. Guys, I'm going to head off. I might be back in the second innings, but I'll see you later on.
Bye-bye.
Yep, bye-bye. See ya. And also about the all-rounder thing, Shine, like, bowlers registering as batters or all-rounders or something. It's also down to, auction where they come in, because it is important for them to come in as early as possible. That's when
Oh,
people
I
will
didn't
have
factor
more
that
money.
in. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's...
But
it's a
I
very
can't
common-
remember any case where there is obviously a batter who has been marked as a bowler or vice versa. Like in the IPL at least. Must be in the
Bowler,
other leagues I have not followed.
Batter would never register themselves as bowler because batting groups come in earlier, so they would always want
Fair,
to register themselves as
Yeah.
batters. Bowlers try to register themselves as all-rounders all the time. Like
All-rounder is fine, yeah. That is so obvious, no? But is there? Do you remember a case of any bowler registering themselves as a batter, like a
Not
specialist
as a
batter?
No. But I've
Okay.
seen batters register themselves as wicket keepers when they've never I
Yeah,
can
like
think
the
of a
Nissanka
lot
example.
of exactly. So it's
Fair,
hilarious.
fair.
Even we keep discussing. Like I remember Sri Charni, she registered herself as an all-rounder. She was at number 11.
Yeah.
What all-round abilities are we
This
talking
the
about?
Abhishek Nair bit that reminded me they were considering making Phoebe Litchfield keep. Was this correct?
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
definitely seeing some news. I don't know how true this is, but I think there were conversations, and they ended up making Shweta Sehrawat keep, right?
Yeah, basically what Abhishek had told was we already have a keeper. Like this was during the auction itself. They bought 3 players. They bought they retained Shweta, they bought Phoebe, and they bought Meg Lanning. So during that time, when someone asked him,
Shot.
what about
That is a good shot from Ravi Jadeja, by the way.
Right?
Yep.
So Nair
Down the
went on to say
ground.
we already have a keeper. Ooh, shot. Yeah.
This guy went to say we already have a keeper, huh?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah. That's what he said. So that's most of them thought it's Phoebe Litchfield because Phoebe had.
But
given
who
an
did
interview
he say that? Like who did he say that to? To the media?
Yeah, so auction after every set there are those interviews done, right?
Yeah, I got
So
it.
Elisa Healy went and sold. So they were like, "Why haven't you gone for a keeper? Like, what
Yeah.
are your plans?" They're like, "We already have a keeper." So
Bro, then it is an Abhishek Nair problem because the same issue has happened with Kolkata.
Raghu,
also.
exactly. That's what even I
Then it
kept on
is
doing it.
I think I was having this discussion with Shravan, I want to say. Yeah, I was having this discussion with him. And we were also just considering like what was happening there and why is this a trend. And now the way you are explaining it, I think then it is a legit problem.
I mean, for all the Bollywood aficionados, like probably Abhishek Nair was like, "Sadak se uta ke kisi ko keeper bana dunga." That was his. It doesn't matter. But let's see.
Good time for Jadeja to get a boundary, by the way, because now is time for them to press launch. They still have Ferreira in the shed, guys. And Shubham Dubey, who's looked in really good form. They can't afford to
100%.
waste them, like in the dugout. So even if Jadeja gets out trying to hit, I think he's done his rebuilding job now.
shot,
And
man.
Parag is looking in
What a
sensational form. Yup, down the ground, good shot once again. Feels like we've seen so many straight fours today, have we not? Or at least in the V.
That's true.
I will
In
look
the
this
V
up
for
right
sure, a lot
away.
of them.
Yeah, in the Vito for sure, but even straight hits,
Yeah,
I feel like we've seen a bunch of those.
Yep. Well done. Meanwhile, of course, the score is 147 for 3 at the end of the 15th over. Again, decent platform for them to launch from your last 5 overs if they are able to score like 60, 70.
It's been a very
then, yeah.
even innings, has it not? Like where they've gone at 9s and 10s or pretty much all the way
Yeah.
through. Like there's no
Yeah.
marked slowdown or, a massive bump up just yet.
Yep.
There
Neither
haven't
team
been
has
any
done away.
20 run overs, have there? I don't feel like that's the case.
Yeah. Maybe Jameson in the start when he conceded 3
Yeah,
boundaries to Parag, I don't know if that went for 20.
It might be close to 20, yeah, you're right, but I don't
Yeah.
think it would be exactly that much. I'm looking this
Oh,
up,
it was
but
exactly 20. I just saw it.
oh wow,
6
it is
over,
exactly 20,
yeah.
fair.
So that's it.
It is
But
also the
again-
over that I had just gone off for a second.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
That is fair.
yeah. But neither team has
So
run
today-
with the game
yeah.
so far, so that's good.
Yeah. So today, actually, they've scored 21 runs in the long off region and 29 runs in the long on region. I mean, obviously, this changes for lefty righty. I don't know what their default setting would be, but just 21 and 29 means 50 runs. So about more than a third of their runs have come straight down the ground in this match so far at the 15th over mark, which is, I think, something interesting to keep in mind. Yeah.
Well fielded, the Starc. Yep.
Oh,
That's
fielding.
not too bad at all. Yeah. I thought that was a boundary there, but well done. Starc got
Started with a slow ball as well, 122. Hit Kyle Jamieson there.
I mean, isn't his pace on was like 126, 127?
Yeah, he's not express pace, but 122 is also slow only for him, I think. He's not like a dibbly doubler, right?
Yeah.
So as I was saying, there's 120 run over, as you were saying, the 6th over. There's a 14 and a 15 run over when Parag was around, and Jurel as well. And the 17, the last one. So yeah, we've not seen like that many extreme sort of situations just yet.
Oh, lovely. Nice. Parag's looking really good here. Good, happy for him. Into the 80s. 100 loading, or have we jinxed it?
He can get 100, right?
Fairly easy. He can get 100 in this over if he wants to.
No, the thing is with hundreds is actually, we've been having this, like when I see my Twitter timeline often these days, the new narrative is that, that is one thing, right? That can be down to luck. But like if I see a batter who's playing at like a 200 strike rate, and if that, I actually think, what was the example where someone had, Rickleton, right? The other day, Rickleton had a 45 ball 100, and some people were like I saw one tweet which was like, maybe that was match losing in a way. It was like, come on, guys. You cannot look at cricket this way. That is too extreme. Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm not... Oh, wow. That was a very weird shot attempted, but he somehow managed to get that.
Yep. Good shot. Very good shot. Yeah.
Straight behind the keeper. Also, about what you said, not to be too harsh on Rickleton himself. Yeah, Parag's on 85, I want to say right now, yes.
Yeah, he's on 85.
Yeah. Not to be too harsh on Rickleton, and when you face 40-50 deliveries, invariably you do get a bit tired. So that's something
that is a valid point. I completely agree with that.
So another 4, lovely.
Yep.
So that was my only thing, that probably he was tired, so I get it why he wasn't able to. He never switched the gear. So Jared and I felt that he'd slowed down, and then we checked his numbers. Like we did his innings builder. Yeah. So it was something.
He was 80 of 30, something like that, was he not?
So in between, there was a 10-ball period where he scored 28 runs, and it seemed like now he's really building up to something. But the next 10 balls went for 19. Then the 10 balls after that went for 20, 21. So he never hit that peak again. And not that 20 of 10 itself is bad, but when you have faced 40 deliveries, you're expected to go at 250, 300 because you need to switch those gears. So that's where I kind of get it, but I don't want to be harsh on Rickleton.
No, I think it's a very valid point. Yeah. This is also somewhat how I also look at it. And I think he was actually 8 of 7 in that last bit. I don't remember the other breakdowns. I think he was at around 80 when he faced the 30 ball mark. And then after his 100, I think he was like 8 of 7. And then he hit 2 more boundaries right at the end. So I think
something like
evened out to be a really good innings. Certainly, I think there's absolutely no way you can blame him for it. But he definitely, I mean, we know how hot it is in India, right? Playing professional cricket right here. Like
when he was, I mean, when he was wicket keeping, he looked dead. He looked dead, completely dead. Yep. Anyways, back to the 16th over. Parag said a hat-trick of boundaries and given the strike to Jadeja. Good stuff from Parag, man. Very happy for him. Very important knock. Can Jaddu closes out well? Can he make this a 20 run over? A 6 needed.
No, that's not happened.
Oh, wait, I was watching it on the Hotstar stream. I realized you must have watched it already.
I'm on the TV only, bro. Today I've not changed. So we've had the same thing again where Jared stream 1, stream 2, stream 3 once again. One wall delay. That is, I am telling you, that is the funniest one.
The thing is, I have my iPad set up here, which is where I played on Hotstar. Then I've got our stream, the stream that's been shared with me, that's playing in the background. I instinctively keep looking here, and I forget that yahan pe bhi chal raha hai, you can watch it quicker on the laptop itself. So I tend to just watch it on Hotstar. But yeah, fair. Let's see. Meanwhile, someone saying, I saw my name being mentioned here. Akshay wearing the DC jersey and cheering for RAJ boundaries is the funniest shit ever. Guys, I have a t-shirt that says, I want both teams to lose and cricket to win. That's my opinion on most days. So it doesn't matter.
Bro, but you're
I'm wearing
like, whose fan are you? I've never understood this. Like, you were an RCB fan, then you were like, they won, so you are like supporting other teams. I didn't understand the whole thing.
Oh, that's a
You
four.
can-
Lovely.
Yeah. You can shed some light on that
Nicely
in a bit, of course, whenever there's a
Yeah.
good window to talk
like
about it.
like I said, was being the operative word. I was an RCB fan, like a hardcore RCB fan. I'm pretty sure I still have some sort of a soft corner for them. 18 साल से ऐसे support किया, so it's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
easy
exactly.
to completely get out.
Yeah.
But I don't
course.
know. I've just sobered down a lot. I do support the women's team a lot. Men's team के लिए ठीक है. I mean, it doesn't affect me as much as it used to till last year. It used to
Yeah,
affect
but
me
like,
personally. How
do you
can
still
lose
support?
this?
That is one thing, bro. No. What I'm saying is, if the team that you've been supporting for finally wins after like a long streak,
Yeah.
there is very naturally, lots of people will be like, yeah, we finally
Yeah.
achieved what we wanted to, and now we can just relax. I think I also feel pretty much the same way. So like now, if the team loses, it's not such a big deal because they just won the title
Exactly.
last year. It's fine, and
that-
I mean they're still playing well, so it's not even like the end of the league or anything like that, right? And let's
Now
say
it's-
they don't win the title this time, then you'll be like, okay, fine, they won it last year, it's okay. But then what I didn't understand is you are saying you're not a fan only anymore.
I mean, when I say I'm not a fan only, I won't say I'm a like I support them. That's too strong an emotion because it means something to me. Supporting a side means really being there, and
That's
I
what I'm
really
saying, yeah.
supported them till yeah. I don't do that anymore. I still have a soft corner, like, and it does come out and he stripped it
It's gone.
straight to
Yeah,
Ashutosh
very
Sharma.
very soft dismissal that one.
Yeah, at backward point.
20 or 14 for
Anyway,
Ravi
good-
Jadeja.
Yeah,
I will
But
take
good
that
time to
honestly.
get
I
out.
think yeah, good time to get out. Also, like at a certain point, you have to understand that Jadeja is limited in the sense where he cannot go at 2 runs a ball as consistently, and especially from the entry point that he came in. I think 20 or 14 net positive contribution for him. The other thing now argument could be, should you just have sent Ferreira in the first place? But maybe the way they are looking at it is they don't want Jadeja to be finishing from ball one.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
That could be the argument. With Shubham Dubey also already there. But then you
I
also,
think
you
Jadeja
have
was
Shubham
sent in
Dubey.
with I think Jadeja was sent in with a very specific role to ensure that RR does not lose any more wickets till the 15th over. Keep giving the
Yes,
strike
yes.
to Parag so that Parag can continue from one end. So he's fulfilled both those roles. I don't think he
That he
dotted it
has,
up
yeah.
too much or something.
Yeah,
So
he's
ठीक
not.
है.
Yeah, he's definitely not played really slow. But do you not think they could have just sent Ferreira in after the form that he was in? And if a wicket falls, then you send in Jadeja, and then if Ferreira gets out at the death, you can send in Shubham Dubey. What do you think about that?
I feel sending in Jadeja then made more sense to me because if Jadeja got out, then you anyway can send in Ferreira. Had Ferreira been sent in then, and if he got out over there itself, then you would have been stuck with Jadeja, sending in Jadeja later on, and that would have been a net
No,
negative
but
for sure.
what I'm saying is, let's say Ferreira came in at the position that Jadeja came in, and he got out in 3 balls. Okay, then you can send in Jadeja to rescue the collapse for a bit,
But you're
and
saying
then at the
he
death you
won't-
already have Shubham Dubey.
But what if he got out in the 14th over? Like somewhere in between. And that would complicate things a bit more. Ki abhi kya karna hai yahan pe? Like
You just
with
send Shubham
Jadeja-
Dubey then. No, then send Shubham Dubey at the 14th
And what
over.
if Shubham Dubey also gets out? Like 14th over thoda jaldi ho gaya uske liye. They have that role that he is that death overs finisher for them.
fair,
which is
fair.
how they use him in the last game. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he is a finisher. I will give you that. Yeah.
Yeah. And also with
Interesting.
there was another point I want. Again, with Ferreira, it's sort of similar to David. I'm not a big fan of David being sent in early. Yesterday's game as well. I
Oh,
felt they could have
that-
they could have sent in Krunal or potentially even subbed in Venkatesh Iyer then itself rather than bringing in David too early. Because one thing that I really liked about RCB, and I'm hoping that I'm keeping my biases in check here, is that they have given very
And
clear
that's a
roles
wicket,
to
bro.
the
Riyan
batsmen.
Parag is gone.
Anyway, well played. I was really hoping that
Yeah,
gets
he
those
really
100,
needed
but-
this innings. The team really needed this innings. Yeah, I think more than anything, it just says that if he is in good form, which to be fair, even in the last innings, I think he was looking in good form. I know there was some discourse about the choice of him, going for the shot that he did in the last ball of Yuzi Chahal's over.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I think
yeah,
Rob
yeah.
was like really annoyed with it. He was like, no way you can play that shot at that point. And Varun was like, it's a full ball and you can just decrease the run rate from 12 to 11 by hitting a 6 there. So like both sides I think had again a valid point.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
might still say the shot was on. The as Varun also said, I think the execution was a bit off. So I think the 12 to 11
I
run
agree.
point that he brought up is a very valid one, I think, because then the way you approach the chase only changes, na, when it's dropped by one single run.
Completely again. I'm not a fan of like again. It's a very Indian
Hindsight.
thing and almost a very cricket thing. Yeah, like judging the outcome or judging a player by the outcome, it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
make sense. What you can look at is
yeah.
what were like you can see what was dealt to the player. Like it was a slot ball, it was there to be hit, and if this player was someone who backed himself as a decent player of spin, sure, go for the shot. If
Yeah.
it doesn't come off, that
Correct,
could have
correct.
happened with anyone. So
Yeah,
that I
that could be
agree.
an execution error, right? Like maybe you didn't middle it, maybe you
Exactly.
didn't time it properly, or any of those things. That is fair to criticize. I think no issues
Yeah,
with that.
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like what I don't
The
understand
irony
is
here is Rob Barron is the English guy and Varun is the Indian. And Varun
because
is like, no, you.
you know how often we've
Sorry.
seen, especially, I mean, I might be being too biased here once again. I don't know how often have I seen Indian commentators same ball. If it's out, they criticize the batters. If it's a six,
Yeah, I
they
agree.
compliment.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
100%, bro.
It-
100%.
Like, in fact, I've
That
seen
that
this
really
happen on
annoys
the
me
very
too.
same ball. I've seen this on the very same ball. Ravi Shastri. So
Okay.
someone's hit the ball. He thought it's going for a six, except that he got out. Oh, that's a fantastic shot. Oh, and he's out. He shouldn't have played that. He should have done that. I'm like,
Bro, you're just praising it a couple of seconds ago.
bro. It's like,
Yeah,
wow. Crazy.
that is true.
Anyway, but the Parag dismissal, I don't know if the ball bounced a bit more or what happened there because he seemed a bit late. It wasn't so pacey as well to say that he was beaten by the pace. It was interesting.
How
The
fast
way
was
he
that
got
ball?
140. Parag can handle that. He's not someone
He can
who-
handle 140. Yeah, he
Yeah.
can handle it. Maybe
It
just
seemed
that
like
ball
it
he
bounced
couldn't.
a bit more. Ooh, creams that pass cover. What a
Yeah,
shot.
what a
from
shot
him, man.
to get off the mark.
Lovely stuff.
This is the
4, 5,
partnership
6.
that just won them the last game. Rajasthan would really, genuinely hope that this gets them to that big booming 220.
For sure.
But that would also be like it would take a real effort to get there. Right, 220 is not like it's easier said than done, wala thing. But they can still realistically target 210. I want to say because
Yeah.
they have to score at roughly 12 and over, which they can from here if with these two batting till the end.
I mean, 3 overs, 37, I think is the realistic expectation because Stark's going to bowl one. Natarajan, I'm assuming, is going to bowl one. Or is he going to bowl both these overs? He's bowled 2 so far. Let me check that. Nattu.
One
Yeah,
second,
Nattu has bowled. Yeah, he's bowled 2 so far. So he's got 2 left. So it's going to be Nattu, Stark, Nattu. Oh, beg your pardon. He's bowled 3. So who's going?
Kuldeep has come
Oh,
in to bowl the
man.
18th.
I was about to say that they have to bowl a spinner. Oh, interesting. Let's see what
Kuldeep
happens.
can bowl at the
Pereira-
death. I don't think it's a horrible move in that sense.
Yeah.
And I know
It's
I am
an
saying this and
interesting
he's
move
going to
as
get
well,
hit for
I'll say.
20 in this over.
I haven't seen much
Yeah.
of Shubham Dubey versus spin, so will be a good way to
Good point.
check how he is.
Ferreira has gotten out to Kuldeep a couple of times in 3 innings as they're
Yeah,
just showing
yeah.
on the screen. But
Yeah.
I do believe Ferreira can play spin. Like I was looking at some numbers at a certain point and it's like he can definitely hit spin. And
He's not a
I don't know how-
like he's not Rovman
yeah.
Powell or something like that. He can handle himself.
fair. Yeah.
Oh, lovely googly. Yeah,
Yeah,
lovely
very good
googly.
ball. Very
Well
good ball.
bowled.
The high bounced a bit as well, no?
Yeah.
Certainly not an easy one to get away.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, if this over does not go for a lot, then they'll be putting a lot of pressure on themselves. That Parag dismissal came at the worst possible time for them.
Yeah, but he also had to go, right? Like, there's no scope for
Yeah,
him, actually playing himself
True,
in or
true,
anything
true.
because they
Wouldn't
have
fault
the
him for
resources.
that.
Yeah, for
Agreed,
sure. Yeah,
agreed,
but
agreed.
definitely
Wouldn't
wrong
fault
time
him
for
for
him
that.
to get out. Yeah, and that is a cracking shot from Ferreira. He has hit a 6 of Kuldeep Yadav on the offside.
Nice. Nicely played. Chalo. 181. What do you think? They can go past 210? Oof.
Yeah, they can
Shot.
go past to 10.
Let's see. I think Kuldeep can still come back in this over. That was too full. The first two deliveries, he got the length bang on, and he just has to get his length over here. If he gets his length right, then it doesn't matter what line he bowls. Just don't bowl too full. Or too short for that matter. I mean, I feel like I'm saying very cliche
Yeah.
stuff. Don't bowl too full, don't bowl
No,
too
it's
short.
a fair point only. You know, if you're going to bowl in the slot, obviously he's going to take risks now at the death, and that is
That
another
seems
6 by the way.
full. Yeah,
Yep.
too full again. It's been
As I
Kuldeep's
said,
had
bro,
a
20 run
very-
over. It was happening.
Yeah, yeah. Again, man. Oh, you can't bowl that full, bro. I mean, I know he's probably not trying to bowl that, but when you err on the fuller side, that way I feel the margin for error is greater on the shorter side for someone like a Kuldeep. You err slightly short, I still think you can get out of it at this stage of the game. If you bowl too full to someone like a Ferreira, bro, he doesn't, again, long levers already. You're just making it easier for him.
Maybe what if he's trying to bowl like a Yorker or something? It could be the case. No, sometimes spinners also just bowl into the block hole.
Could be. And he has that pace
But-
on delivery too. Let's see what happens here. But I wonder why did they then give Jameson the 16th over? They could have bowled Kuldeep then. I mean,
bro,
I don't know if that
Jameson
was
is
the
also-
choice.
Jameson is also not a death bowler, right?
Agreed. Neither of them
That's the
are.
thing. Yeah. And like I get your point because Jadeja was batting at that time. I think what you're saying makes sense. But then on the other end, you still have Parag. He can hit spin. He has been hitting it today.
Like the way I would put it is... One second, let us see. Oh,
That's another
this
6.
is not a
Exactly
bad
20
ball.
run over. Exactly 20 run over.
This I don't think was even that full. Oh man, Ferreira really just went down on one knee.
He's a good player, bro.
What a shot.
At least one of the 2 things I said came true. I covered for both. It's like Kuldeep can bowl at the death, but Ferreira is also a good spin hitter. So I have not taken a side, and that is the easy thing to do, of course. But yeah,
No, I just saw the
think
replay, by the way.
couple
This
of
was
balls
also
definitely.
good.
So all 3 balls were full only, bro. The 6 balls, all 3 ones that went for 6.
The first 2 were good. I don't know what happened. Was he intentionally trying to bowl full like Yorkers or something? Was he? But why, yaar? You bowl 2 good length balls. Both have gone for singles. Just stick to that. Like I don't know what.
Yeah, that's also a fair point. Yeah.
All right, last 2 overs. Good position now.
I mean, I was
Rajasthan
saying
are in-
220 ke liye they needed 47 runs, right? So they've already got 20 of that.
Yeah.
27 in 2 overs, can they do it?
Yeah. 27 in 2, so you always. I would always.
Bro,
be
this
backing the batting
really
side.
makes them strong, no? Because if their death batting is going to click like this, they can be a gun team in every single phase of the innings. Maybe they can't be like a big power hitting team in the middle overs because both Jurel and Parag, I want to say, they're more innings builders and not like gung ho Patidar or Klassen. Not even current Klassen actually, because even he's become more of that sort of player. But peak Klassen or Patidar or even I wouldn't even put Shreyas. I feel like Shreyas would be a hybrid of both, like where he can definitely hit sixes when he wants to, but he's more of an innings controller, and some of that is also the targets and the opening batters already reducing the run rate so much that they don't need to go at insane rates.
You know, this RR side, I mean, I'm probably speaking a bit too much into the future, but after the season, if they let go of if they let go of someone like a Hetmeyer, this is a wide, by the way, and with that money, if they are somehow able to nail in a death over specialist, you know, when it comes to their bowling, bro, I think there aren't any weaknesses with this 11. Right now, the bowling outside the power play is where they're struggling. If they are able to find someone who can handle the death, you've got Bishnoi, Jadeja, Yash, or other spinners who can handle themselves in the middle overs. Archer,
Middle is
Berger
fine.
at the top.
Yeah.
Bro,
Fine.
that's looking like a very... And who knows if Sam Curran can become that option. Like, they already have a Sam Curran who's unfortunately not available.
He does have that moon
If
ball.
he can, exactly. If he can mold himself to become a death over specialist for them, my boy, oh boy, is this side looking good. Because again, batting Ferreira and Shubham in the form that they are in, it's a top-notch bat. I rate them above Punjab, if I'm being very honest.
Wait, what? The batting lineup?
Batting lineup just on current form across.
Current
in
form?
terms of batting.
Really?
Yeah. For Punjab, it's only the top 4, and I'm even that's a top 4 with Cooper Conley, who I know it's. I'm being very biased here. I'll shamelessly put that out there. I still don't rate Cooper Conley that highly, but it's Shreyas Iyer, Prabhsimran Singh, and Priyansh Arya who are in phenomenal form. I'm going to give that. Like if I compare top 4 man to man, it is Punjab. Like, matlab, it's Punjab
Easily.
miles of gap, and then there's
Yeah.
whoever it is.
That is no doubt.
But as a
Number
as a
5?
top order, yeah.
Who's
As a
Rajasthan's
7,
number 5?
you've got, they can use Jadeja, they can use Ferreira, Shubham Dubey.
Ferreira. Let's say Ferreira for the time being. Today they had
Yeah.
Jadeja, but let's say Ferreira.
Yeah.
And they have Vadhera who's struggling a bit, definitely.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
they also
But
have
then
Stoinis
it's-
and Janssen, bro, at the death. They both can also hit. I mean, how much of an
Stoinis
upgrade is...
last game.
Bro,
Stoinis
he
have not
is-
for,
Bro, last
exactly,
season
he was
also he's
great.
doing well, no? At the death.
Not well. I wouldn't
Yeah,
say
he
he's
was.
doing well.
Bro, he was.
what
I'm
was his
pretty
number?
certain about that. I'll look it up right
Oh.
now, but I want to say he was striking at more than 2 runs a ball quite comfortably. Like, he was their best
yeah,
death
I-
batter. I am confident about that.
I mean, he
And
was
Shreyas,
their
because he
best
was
death batter.
being set.
But I don't know if that's saying a lot if we're saying he was their best death batter, because their top order was doing the job more often than not even then. Like, he
Yeah.
had a very
No, but
limited
then,
role.
if he's not needed to do much of a job, how can you say he's not good?
Agreed. I for some reason didn't think that Stoinis had an average season last year. I might be then mixing things up. But Stoinis,
No, I
Janssen,
can-
Shashank Singh, Nehal Vadera.
He didn't make runs in the final. He got out. But what I'm saying is, I think last year in the death overs, he was right up there. I'll look up his numbers in the
Yeah.
meanwhile. But in the meanwhile, we've had another boundary. Proper shot.
That's a great attempt from Kuldeep, but it's been a great over from
Yeah.
Starc so far.
Yeah,
including
up to-
the
until
boundaries,
that
it's still
point.
8 runs.
Yep.
I mean, even then, including the boundaries, just 8
True,
runs
true.
of 5 balls. Delhi would happily take that.
Not they would.
Yeah. I hope Kuldeep's
He'll
not
hope
done
he doesn't get an injury, bro. He's so important for their bowling
Yeah.
lineup.
Yeah. All right.
And that's a slot ball. What? Absolutely
Aye.
whacked by Donovan Ferreira. What? And you know the funniest bit in all of this is he was in Delhi last year and they traded him. Bro. Why?
And I'll have to wipe
and-
the egg on
no,
my face as well.
Bro, no. I'm not saying this as an uncle who is like, once something has happened, I'm already calling that. Genuinely, there was lots of discourse at that time where people were saying, okay, why have you given away Donovan Ferreira for, like, that doesn't make any sort of sense. I think that was a Donovan Ferreira and Nitish Rana trade, I want to say. Because
Yeah,
Nitish Rana
yeah,
was
that
the
was
number
it.
3 last year for Rajasthan Royals.
Yeah.
And once they gave Sanju Samson away, it did make sense to, let go of Nitish Rana as well.
In fact, I was
So last
actually
season-
happy to wipe. Yeah, tell me about
Stoinis at the death over. So from over 17 to 20. Okay, no, sorry. I think this was just from this season. Okay, wait. This season also, bro, he's at 94 runs of 34 balls, by the way. I looked up this season's numbers. by mistake.
That is,
Nine-
most of it was from the last game
One-
itself, but yeah.
But whenever he's getting a hit, he has batted in 4 innings, gotten out once. Whenever he's getting a hit, he's hitting the ball, right? So what else do you want from your finisher?
Fair.
Last season, so they were Stoinis. Yep,
Starts over
100 runs of 35 balls in and over 17 to
Oh, not
20
bad.
last year. Yeah,
But how's it only
285
35
strike
balls?
rate. Yeah, 5 4 10
I mean,
sixes.
who batted for them most at the death? Did
Shashank and him, bro.
Janssen also bat-
Shashank and Stoinis.
Oh, I don't think he's
Bro, you
connected
forgot
this.
to-
It's top.
Yep.
1 second. Let's see what happens
Yeah.
here. Oh, he catches it. It did not look like he was going to catch that. He somehow held on to it. But 35 balls across the season, I don't know. That's a bit less. But
At the
like,
deaths,
who else
not the
played?
whole season, bro. Only over 17 to 20, I'm saying.
Fair.
Shashank is their main death batter in terms of balls faced. He faced 105 balls. He made 224 runs and struck at 213. So both of their death batters are actually doing really well.
And you think Stoinis faces second most deliveries at the death for them?
For them, Shreyas was also there. He faced 60 balls. As I was saying earlier, no? 149 of 60, by the way. Got out thrice. So these were their guys.
49
Yeah,
of 16, 1-6.
149 of 60 balls. Scoring at nearly 15 runs and over then. So they had him, they had Stoinis, and they had Shashank. So they were a good dead team. I think maybe it is the one game, you remember the RCB game where Hazelwood and Bowie, they were nailing Yorkers like it was the 2014 final, the T20 World Cup final, and they were nailing Yorkers like anything. That is the game where they couldn't get away. They had Shashank, I want to say, and Janssen in that game, and they neither of them could get away because of the quality of bowling. It's not that they were actually, not good players. And at the death, I think against RCB, it became a situation where they had to chase a bit too many and they had lost quite a few wickets. And some of Shashank's, obviously, we all know that after 29 of 4, the game was done and dusted, and Hazelwood just wanted to get the job done. So, not reading too much into that. But even if you chop those balls off, his total season tally, he's still scoring at roughly 2 runs a ball, no? And Stoinis you already have. So, if you have Stoinis and then you have Janssen.
One thing I wanted to say is, I was just trying to think, 14 games plus add another 3 games, 17 games, 4 overs. That's 400 to 500 deliveries. Sure, there might be a couple of games where, the batch doesn't even go till the death. I was trying to think, only 185. The math in my head wasn't adding up. How did only...
I can look that up also, bro. 1 second. I can check Punjab.
Oh, that's a 4, by the way, for Ferreira, who's on 35 of 11, by the way. Oof.
He has played a absolute blinder of an innings.
Talk about finishing. Yeah, well done. So I was just trying to say.
They had Janssen as well. He faced 46 balls. He made 55 runs. He didn't really, go as hard. But he's the number 8. I mean, if their number 8 can bat the way... If they have Janssen's batting talent, I'll take that. I have absolutely no issues with that.
Completely agree.
And we saw what he did in the semi-final, no?
Completely agree. I mean, Janssen at number 8 he's easily the best number 8 right now in IPL.
Yeah.
I wouldn't deny that.
Same.
Stoinis, once again, another thing.
Another 6. What a shot, bro.
What a shot, man. What a shot. 41 of 12, by the way. 41 of 12.
Yeah. We are now seeing some quality death hitting as well in the last few games, are we not? With just the Stoinis one that we were talking about the last time when he played the Rajasthan Royals. He really went hard.
Yep. And this also, by the way, wasn't a bad ball at all. Low full toss, it's a very tricky... It was one of those low full tosses that's very hard to get underneath. Ferreira, man. Well done. Well played. But Stoinis and Ferreira both, in fact, are batters that I didn't rate very highly as, death overs hitters. In fact, that's why I wanted to even say earlier when the trade happened, I actually felt, it's fine. DC, I did not think too much of Ferreira. But now, having seen him do these things in the IPL, I'm mighty impressed. Fair. I must say that. So, that's it. And I'm very surprised with this. Yep. So, happy to be corrected once again. I'm not saying
bro, they can make 231 also now if he gets 2 sixes. He's left that one. Yeah, I don't think that's a wide. I don't think so. I don't know what... They're probably still going to review it, are they not?
They have to. I don't think they have. Yeah.
I don't think he's reviewing it. Or has he?
I don't know. Why did he leave?
He would have thought it's a wide, bro. Why else would he leave it? He's not reviewing it either. He's like, I think he thought it was going to be a wide, but it didn't end up being one. And he's like, yeah, fair enough.
And he realized it.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I don't think. How many reviews do they even have left? Did they use a review today? I don't think they used a review. They used the Parag one, no, but that was not out.
Parag, what review? No,
sorry.
Delhi
used a review. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Yeah. My bad. Correct.
Yeah. Anyways, last ball of the innings, 219 for 6. Can they get to 225? My stream stuck, and they do get to 225. Well done, man. Well done. 47 of 14. It's been a fantastic cameo, I want to say, but it's more than a cameo, to be honest.
It's a gun innings, bro.
225?
Yeah, for sure. I've got no issues with that. They've got a decent, solid bowling lineup as well. So I think with 225 against... bro, I don't... I might sound stupid and I'm not going to show up for the next innings anyway. So if any Delhi fans have a bone to pick with me, they can come in the next match in the first innings once again. But basically, I don't think Delhi can chase this. It's beyond their reach. I mean, we can have like a KL Rahul play of freak innings or just Stubbs going turbo mode from ball 1 or something like that. But I just don't think this team is set up to chase 220 plus, 210 plus for that matter. I am not very confident about them, but 226 though I don't think they're going to chase. 220 plus I'm not confident. I saw a super chat, couple of super chats. We can just take that and leave, no?
Done. Let's do that.
Yeah, we've been talking about this one, right? I think our logic was that. I'll just read out the question as well. The point as well. Rudra Patel R8I says, "Thank you for the super chat." He says, "Don't really see the logic of sending Jadeja early. I think what they thought was they didn't want to lose more wickets at that juncture, so they also couldn't afford to slow down the run rate a lot, right? So they maybe just told Jadeja to, give the strike to Riyan Parag and knock the ball around for a bit, and then when it's time to go, you have to go. There's no scope for him batting till the end just for the sake of it and not accelerating, right? So I think he got out also at the right time, but that it's the same thing I was asking Akshay actually. Where should they just not have sent Ferreira in the first place? In the form that he's in, and it's not like he can't bat in the middle overs, right? He can certainly do.
He can, but again, we don't know what exactly was the intention behind sending in Jadeja. If like we discussed, if the role for him was, take the game till the 15th, 16th over, ensure that strikers rotated and Parag gets more strike. I think he did his job well. And I get that in hindsight.
He did his job. I don't think there's any issue with that.
Yeah.
I think he did his job.
Ferreira's scope. Yeah.
Yeah, the debate will. But we were saying this even before Ferreira went nuts, right? We were like,
Correct.
Why did he just not come in earlier in the first place? Just
Correct.
the form that he had been in and all of that. But I think that's fine. I think they probably wanted to do what we were just discussing, and they were able to achieve that. And I think there was another super chat that was saying that you were a Punjab hater.
I'll be honest. I have dissed Punjab's bowling a lot, but with good reason. Anyway, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in the second innings. Please don't.
Yeah, we can talk about that one later. For what it's worth, guys, I think Punjab are the best batting lineup in this IPL for me. I have absolutely no issue saying that. They might not.
Same.
Funnily enough, I know I'm saying this after RCB have collapsed yesterday, but RCB I think have a higher floor than Punjab, but ceiling it's not even a comparison. Like Punjab have a way higher ceiling than RCB right at the moment. That's the way I would look at it, especially the way their openers and the new version of Shreyas Iyer is, right? And the thing with both teams is they're both really good at chasing. So I think on that note, we can join you guys in the second innings. Goodbye.
We love the game, but we love the stories. Fans have stories. Former players have stories. Journalists have stories as well. Combox brings them all together. The game lives on. Edition of the Good Area's Most Improved IPL Player Award. And for those who don't know, we've already done 3 editions of this for Test cricket. But there is a key difference here. We've used a 3-year cycle for comparison. So it's the quality of a player from 2023 to 25 versus 2020 to 22. And we also know that the impact sub rule has supercharged run rates. So we can't charge these players on raw stats, as that would favour the batriarchy and be unfair on all the bowlers. That is where true values and the impact metrics come into the picture to help us contextualize the numbers better. We also have to say, even though Jasprit Bumrah actually improved miles, it doesn't make sense for a superstar like him, as he was before him, to be in contention for this award. And while Virat Kohli may have upped his intent, woohoo, he is the same man who once nearly made 1,000 runs in a single season. So we arbitrarily ruled those two out before we even knew that that was the case. A quick reminder that rookies can't be nominated for this award. So unfortunately, MS Dhoni is ineligible. Also, if you have improved only in 2025, we're looking at you, Devdutt Padikkal, you're not going to make it because we're looking at 3-year cycles. And here is a token shout out to players like Heinrich Klaassen and Phil Salt. They actually weren't in the playing 11s in that previous period. So technically in the IPL, they haven't improved. Another interesting player was Ruturaj Gaikwad. While his numbers certainly got better in the present cycle, it was only in his second season, and first full one, that he made the most runs at a healthy strike rate in a title-winning run for CSK. A few more players missed out, like Nicholas Pooran, Sky, Marcus Stoinis. In the case of the first two, it's because they went from very good players to potentially all-time great in their 3-year runs. Stoinis started scoring at a much quicker rate, but his rise wasn't as big. And also, you can only have so many names in this list. Jaiswal was a name that actually came up a lot of times when asked for nominees on Twitter. And it's a great shout because his raw and true value numbers improve. But he also starts really young. And unlike his Rajasthan Royals teammate Riyan Parag, his floor was always a lot higher. So, we've told you a bunch of people that haven't made it. But we did end up with 10 people who did. And we're going to take that group and we're going to shrink that down to 3 before we find one person who has improved more than anyone else. So welcome to the second least prestigious award in the IPL after the Fair Play, the Good Areas Most Improved Player Award. My latest book is The Art of Batting. It delves deep into how the best players ever made their runs. Get your copy today. Captain Suryansh was close to winning an IPL title with KKR and Punjab in back-to-back years, but his batting came a long way as well. After missing out in the 2023 season, he had a good year as a role player in a strong Kolkata batting lineup, followed by his best batting season ever for Punjab. On raw numbers, he has an exponential rise. He was at +4 true average and -6 true strike rate in the first period, and now that is 17 and 14 respectively. So he scores quicker and is harder to dismiss now. And while he does have more not outs than he used to, he also scores more runs per inning. In fact, when you look at impact per innings, no batter has improved as much as he has. It actually starts from hitting spin. While he was relatively faster in ODI cricket, he didn't actually score at a true strike rate of over 10 against the Tweakers in the IPL until after his debut season. For years, he had a true strike rate of less than 10 against the spinners. In the last 2 seasons, he is above that. And of course, he's combined that with an ability not to get dismissed. He's still not quite in the spin basher class of Parag, Klaasen, Rajat Patidar, but he is the fastest he's been in quite a while. But he has started to bash pace in the IPL. In 2025, he had a true strike rate of 36 at a solid true average. That is huge, even compared to his 2024 year. He is far more ruthless versus the full and back of the length deliveries than he ever was before, and he's become a superior player of the pull, and he's also able to handle good lengths a lot better. He's just become a more complete player overall. His prime unlocked a whole new style as well. And the cult of Suryansh Iyer is getting bigger by the day. While Shubman Gill's T20I performances were not enough to make it for the Indian team, although it's a pretty hard side to get into, he's certainly been one of the best IPL players. The talent has been there since his first year in 2018. In fact, the following season, he won the Emerging Player Award. But the next 2 for KKR were quite middling, and he wasn't even retained. The Gujarat Titans got him, and he had an okay year, and they won the title. But Gill's true values go from minus to 19 and 14. And like Suryansh, he improves on both fronts. His impact per innings basically rises from nothing to 3.4. And a major reason for this was 2023, where he ended up making the second most runs all time in a season, just behind Kohli. And he did that with a true strike rate of 20. So it was a high impact accumulation in a season where they were a ball away from going back to back. In 2025, he made all the runs along with Sai Sudarshan and Josh Butler. He's obviously a better player of spin than seam, but he's just getting better at both of them. And it makes more of an impact versus the quicks, because he was actually under par on both average and strike rate in the last cycle. And he's now able to score faster from his flicks and his cover drives, but he's far more dangerous in the V. That also means he covers a lot of different parts of the ground. He gets better at facing good and back of a length seam, but he also smashes the fuller deliveries more. Versus spin, he's just improved against all the lengths. Obviously, some of Gill's improvement has come down to him maturing with age, but he's still not in the peak batting ages, so he can get better. Shivam Dubé has such gravitas that teams change their bowling plans when he's at the crease. In IPL 2024, he only faced 56 deliveries of spin compared to 188 of pace. And there was a good reason for that. In the season before, he tonked the slower bowlers at a strike rate of 173. And yet the most incredible stat on him is that for CSK, he actually has a better true strike rate against pace than spin. In the last 3 IPL seasons, Dubé has an impact of 3.88 per innings compared to minus 0.42 in the 3 years before that. On true average and strike rate, he's at 14 and 11 respectively, a jump up from being in the negative. Interestingly enough, though, the 3-year timelines don't quite match for Dubé. His absolute best covers both of these periods. It goes from 2022 until 2024. But you cannot win this award by gerrymandering your years. So in the first period, he actually has a higher true average versus spin, but it was a little bit below par when it came to speed. And now he's traded that average for faster runs. And against pace, he's better at not being dismissed as well as hitting it. He really understands his game against spin. He's ruthless against full and shorter lengths, but he defends the ball less than he used to, so he's still getting off strike. And previously, he obviously against pace had a trouble with the back of a length or shorter deliveries, and now not as much. Shivam Dubé basically went from being a middling squad player to one of the most valuable role players in the competition, and has played quite a bit for India as well. That makes him an easy shout for this award. Abhishek Sharma showed glimpses of his potential way back in 2018 on his IPL debut. He made 46 off 19 versus RCB, and that was before he'd even been in the SMAT. He ends up being traded to the Sunrisers, but he's kind of stuck as a lower order batter for them. But at the same time, he's an opener domestically. He finally goes in at the top in the IPL in 2021, and in his second outing in that role, he scored a 16-ball 33 versus Mumbai Indians. However, SRH didn't retain him at the end of the mega auction. He was bought back for 6.5 crores. In 2022, he has a decent year. More than 400 runs, an above par average, and a good true strike rate. This was before the impact sub era, so his raw strike rate of 133 doesn't look that amazing. But his evolution begins in 2024. His true strike rates are plus 51 and 41 in the 2 seasons. Against spin, it's plus 84 and 119. Think about this. There are actual players in the IPL who score at 119 or less versus spin. Talking to you, Ajinkya Rahane. And that's how much per ball Abhishek Sharma is scoring over the expected total. If you look at the 2 timelines, his average has actually gone just slightly down. The difference, of course, is how much quicker he is scoring, because his true strike rate goes up to 38. And his impact per innings goes from 0.7 to 2.6. And he gets significantly quicker against both pace and spin. And he was a spin hitter before, just not insane like it is now. And we've come to a point now where he can run away with the game regardless of what kind of bowler he's up against. The 2024 season made Travashek famous and got us all thinking about 300s all the time. Teams absolutely are terrified by him. The 18-ball half-century against New Zealand in the World Cup final was just exactly what we'd all been waiting for. Abhishek Sharma goes from being a talented bloke to a transformative T20 batter. This guy is quite literally the limit on Abhishek's potential. Till 2023, Rian Parag got out for single digits in exactly half of his IPL innings, which feels like a cricket version of binary. But it wasn't like he scored at a ridiculous clip to make up for this inconsistency. He was striking at less than 125. And yet, he had always shown glimpses of this talent. In 2019, he became the then youngest batter to score an IPL 50. And for Assam, he debuted at only 15. Plus, he was also an under-19 World Cup winner. After his debut season, though, he never averaged 20 or struck at 140 for the next 4 years. Cut to 2024, and the only 2 men with more runs that year were Virat Kohli and Raj Gaikwad. In 2025, he had the 7th best true strike rate of the 33 batters with 300 or more runs. So he's given us a solid anchor season and then an attacking year, showcasing his range. Of all the batters we nominated, he had one of the biggest deltas between the 2 cycles. He's gone from a -8 on true average to a +7, and a -21 on true strike rate to 3 on those respective metrics. Those are huge swings. He obviously prefers facing pace to spin, but he's also been working on that, and he's so much better than he used to be. And of course, it's not just batting. He became the 4th youngest player to ever captain an IPL team last year. And that was after some success with the SMAT as well. When he first came into the game, he was incredibly immature because he was really young. And now he's coming up with really mature statements about the fickle narratives around captaincy. He just comes across as a professional now. And there will be some people that will think that he was young before and now he's slowly maturing. But the actual uptick in his numbers is stark. This isn't natural evolution, it's a jump. Akshar Patel is an all-round asset. It's really hard to look past him for this. If we just go by the true values, he has actually improved as a batter and a bowler. And I think I've kind of felt like Akshar has always been this good because he's been around this long. But with the ball, he has a true economy of more than 1 for 3 consecutive years, which is mind-boggling in the impact sub era. In terms of wickets, he hasn't actually changed all that much. And I think you could argue that he's had better bowling years before, like in 2014. But this is consistent and on a slightly different level. And of course now, he's having to bowl to left-handers a lot more than he used to be. He's not just a matchup bowler. His batting really starts to click in around 2022, which makes sense if you think back to ODI cricket. But most importantly, when you look at impact per innings, he goes from a -1 to plus 0.6. And is facing 5 more balls. So he's a more positive player and is doing it for longer. And of course, he's still not a frontline batter, rather someone you can use as a firefighter in certain situations. And a big part of that is tackling spin. Till 2022, there are only 2 seasons where he faced more than 50 balls of it. But now that's gone up significantly. In the last 2 years, his true strike rate was 42 and 23. And in 2023, he had a true average of 45 against it. You do not want to bowl spin in the slot to this man. And you can tell how much his stock has risen by looking at the importance in the Indian side as well, often on both sides of the ball. Of course, we haven't even mentioned how good his fielding is, and of course, leadership as well. He was the vice captain of India and the captain of the Delhi Capitals. The career of Kuldeep Yadav is very wild. Like, he was benched for 7 straight games in the IPL in 2021. And this was the same bowler that 3 years before was bossing international cricket with Yuzi Chahal. But in the IPL, we noticed this regression a little bit earlier in 2019. And remember, by the end of that World Cup that year, he was also dropped. He only plays 5 games in 2020, and he had a knee injury in the second leg of 2021, which meant that he really wasn't involved with KKR, and they released him. So the Delhi Capitals end up buying him for 2 crore in the 2022 mega auction. We love the game, but we love the stories. Fans have stories. Former players have stories. Journalists have stories as well. Combox brings them all together. The game lives on.
Hi everyone. The match has already started, the second innings, and we're waiting for Akshay to come in. In the meantime, I think it was just not worth missing the first over from Jofra. Like, especially after what he's done this IPL, he's been like the goat in this first over as far as this current IPL is concerned. So, still 4 balls left. Let's see. Oh, that ball came back in after pitching. So we saw that in the first innings also. There was little bit of swing on offer, and the one that Sooryavanshi got, that ball moved off the surface, so there was some seam movement, and the one that got Sooryavanshi that swung a bit. Uh, I think it was 1.45 degrees, not massive, but to add to the angle from around the wicket, that extra bit of swing was the main undoing of Vaibhav Sooryavanshi today. So let's see what we have in store. So down the leg side, wide, and Chofra still has 3 balls to make it count. So Akshay is waiting to come in. So let's have him also here. So, so there was a little forecast for rain today. So considering the fact that still RR chose to bat first because the pitch seems to have slowed down a bit, and it should slow down even further in the second inning. So I think, hi Akshay, welcome.
Hello, क्या हाल है? बताइए, how's it going?
It's going great. So kind of waiting for that Jofra Archer burst in the first over. So like what he's been doing throughout the tournament. So good shot down the ground. That was a brave hit from Shankar. So
Played. I am excited for Jofra versus Kale in particular. It'll be quite fun.
yes.
Because last game itself, Kale was also bounced out by Hazelwood. So, yeah. Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah. Saw the replays of it. Meanwhile, I've been brandished a Punjab hater. So, I just wanted to let you know. As a resident Punjabi, as a... How does that make you feel? There we go.
Because I've ever been. Oh, okay. So how did that happen?
Nothing. So I was under the impression, and I'm
some
more than
shot.
happy to. Oof. Played, yeah. Played, man. Again, Nissanka is one of those guys a lot of people were expecting a lot of things from. So finally, let's hope that this is the night where he chooses to come good.
That ball came back in after pitching. A little bit of seam movement for Jofra, but that further helped Nishanka to kind of just cream it over the deep fine leg region. So how does this came up?
Oh yeah. So this one, it began. I think it's also down to last game. If you remember, I'd spoken about Punjab's bowling. I did sort of be a bit harsh on them, but I won't go back on it. I still believe they are arguably one of the more poorer bowling attacks, and they'll have to improve that. Like you can't win the IPL solely on your batting. So I still unless they do become better, of course, I'm more than happy to also correct
I'm
myself.
I'm
But right
I'm
now, yeah.
I'm doing a piece on them tomorrow, so I'm going to record a video on them tomorrow. So
Hmm.
so I have the numbers, and definitely these numbers don't look that encouraging. And so I think
Exactly. Yeah.
you have a case there. Economy wise, if you look at Punjab's numbers so far in the power play, they are ranked seventh. Uh, Balls per wicket, they are ranked eighth, so they've not been getting enough power play wickets. Middle overs, that's even worse. Economy wise, they're ranked eighth, and balls per wicket wide, they're ranked 10th. So the worst team when it comes to middle overs. They're not getting any wickets, and also they're kind of getting hammered. Depth, economy wise, they're a little better. It's fifth overall, but again, the balls per wicket are like they're ranked eighth. So like throughout the three phases of the match, they're not getting enough wickets. And if you look at the individual numbers, also, would you be able to guess like among the true strike rates and true economies, who should be the best among all the Punjab bowlers on show so far?
Who should be the best? I would want to
And who's
believe
the best?
Chahal, probably.
But who's the
Chahal,
best
maybe.
right now? Shashank Singh.
Oh, Shashank Singh Kotak. Who is the second? I want to know.
Yeah. So he has a negative impact on the scoring. Like that means he's done well. Uh, and uh, and I think he's just behind Harpreet Brar, who had a massive impact on that game. And in a single game, Harpreet Brar was able to outdone all the bowlers combined. So you can just see the kind of tournament Punjab bowlers are having. Their batting is kind of doing all the heavy lifting, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And as a Punjabi, as somebody who's already has invested myself a lot in them for over the years, I really want the bowling to come to at least
Yeah.
some level to compete, because the batting cannot do all the heavy lifting throughout. You cannot win tournaments if the numbers are just not kind of matching up. And
Yeah. So
Pacers
that,
have been the yeah.
no, go for it. Go for it. I want you to first
and the-
finish here. Yeah.
So the Pacers combined, like Arshdeep has a positive 18, so that means he's gone 18 runs above than what it should have been for a bowler of his pedigree. Vishak is plus 20 and Bartlett is plus 34. The only bowlers, the mainstream bowlers who have a negative impact on the scoring, which is a good thing, that they actually pull the scoring down. Chehel -3 and Marco Janssen -3.5. So they are also just on the borderline. So it's not like a massive impact. So the net impact of the bowlers so far is positive. That means they have conceded more runs than what the batters have done. But somehow, why it has not impacted that much? Because overall, Punjab been able to kind of what ideally should have been the power scores and everything in those matches. So most of the times, bowlers have considered more than the power scores, because the batters are scoring way above the par. That is the only reason it is just kind of clicking. But I'm very sure that's the reason I think Shreyas Iyer, even though he scored a 27 ball 30 in the last match, he became so harsh uh,
Yeah.
on the he came down really harsh on the bowling.
Yeah.
He kind of leader he is. He would have otherwise brushed it under the carpet. He would not have come up with such harsh words. The reason he
Yeah.
said it was because he wanted the bowlers to kind of feel the heat, because they really need to pull their socks up, because the batting kind of did their job. 220 plus is a massive total on that Mullapur wicket, right? And even with a little bit of stutter in the middle overs where Shreyas Iyer couldn't get off the blocks the way generally he usually does, the bowling just couldn't stand up. So it's too much of the pressure on the captain also, that every
Yeah.
time we have to go out and score above par for our bowling to kind of have that cushion. So I would say you have
100%.
you've hit the nail on its head, and it's just really important that Punjab kind of puts this falling act together. They did the same way last year also, because they didn't start off that well in the bowling department, but then they came up really well.
Yeah.
Hi,
Yeah.
Jared.
Yeah.
Talking about coming up really well. Here's me.
Yeah.
Well
So we
done.
were
Two
kind of
segues into it.
yes. So I was kind of putting some rationale behind the hate that Akshay is getting, and he's kind of getting bashed. I would say
I thought you
branded
might
as
be getting
somebody.
bashed after your slagging off RCB last night.
Did I?
What
I
was your
didn't
piece
even.
called?
No. That was because I kind of said like where the batting is kind of having an issue. So the top five are doing so well, but six, seven, eight are the problem. And this is something which I've been kind of hearing from my audience for quite a long time. In fact, when they lost to Delhi, people were pretty harsh on Jitesh and Romario Shepherd. They wanted both of them to get replaced, and I was the one who kind of defending them because I just said that there will be too many changes and the set core would get disturbed. So they were pretty uncomfortable and annoyed with that. That why the hell did I support them? And that's the reason now I was kind of stating that and kind of validating what they had discussed on that day. So kind of supporting their argument. So not exactly putting my own things in there.
And
I heard you
Deepak,
slagged
just to
everyone
add
off.
to yeah, and about the Punjab hate, of course, the reason why they did get behind me today was, or come rather at me was today. I was talking about their batting. I still feel even with their batting, it's their top order who's done bulk of the damage. Their middle order, barring Stoinis' last knock, I think till the last knock. In fact, I really thought that Stoinis should be probably dropped, or they have to look at some other options. In fact, we were discussing names as well. As Stoinis doesn't come good, who can they consider and all? But Stoinis did come good, and I'm happy for him. So that's why they're like, you hate Punjab, you're just hating on them. The problem that you mentioned about RCB
Here's
is
the
kind of the
bigger
problem
issue,
that
though.
have.
The bigger issue is that basically what we have is an entire environment where people don't understand what analysis is. If you want me to actually go through who I hate, right? I mean, Combox would actually cease to exist as a company. We're just having a concussion check here.
Yes, that was a nasty hit to be honest. That
Top
was
edge into
bang
the helmet.
on.
Yeah,
Was it a top edge? I think it was.
No. It was not a top edge. It was
yeah,
bang
there
on.
was. Yeah. Oh, I thought there
No,
was.
because it
Okay.
was given as a leg by, so I don't think so. There was any bat involved.
We'll have a look again in a
Fair,
minute, I'm sure.
fair.
Yeah, this is the big problem. It's like, so we talked about it earlier today, the Rian Parag thing, right? Of like, clearly you've been paid to talk about Rian Parag rather than we spent weeks researching a topic and did it. But cricket is so bad in the way that people understand it. I think it was a top edge, Deepak,
So why the hell did they give it as leg buys?
because he missed the top edge.
So
That's what I posted.
clearly, yeah.
Now who's the fan? So yeah, I think from that perspective, it's actually really, really hard to have any sort of conversation, right? And a lot of this comes back to how bad cricket media has been for a long period of time. So let's go back to Deepak's point about RCB for a moment. Who's RCB's backup for Romario Shepherd? Who's the guy that comes in at number 7 and whacks sixes every ball on their roster?
Nobody, I don't think so. Like, if they've discovered some young talent, to be honest, that will be amazing. But
and chances are, if they
maybe.
do, he won't be able to give them a cheeky over and wicket every now and again, right?
yes, he actually pulled the mark back last time because he took 2 wickets in that over. And just imagine, like, even that hook shot from Holder when he was kind of coming onto the front foot. I think that was a good ball, to be honest, to Holder. He kind of got a very good slice of the bat on that, but like it could have even gone up and it could have been like 3 wickets in a single over for him.
Yeah. And then you go to someone like Jitesh Sharma. He's having a horrible season, right? But we're only about just over halfway through the year. And last year, he averaged 37 at 176. Are we saying there's a replacement, as this is a beautiful shot by Patham Nissanka, guides us away for 4? Are we saying that RCB has a replacement who is definitely going to be able to get to that level? And also, at this stage, is wicketkeeper. They don't have another wicketkeeper, do they, in their lineup at the moment until Phil
Salt, because Salt is also not injured.
Yeah, right?
Salt is also injured, yes.
So it's all well and good to be like, these people are out of form, right? So Denver Nuggets got kicked out of the NBA playoffs today, and like I'm seeing Nuggets fans being like, we have to trade this person, we have to do this, and I'm like, well, okay, whoa, let's just take a step back. What do we think we are getting for these trades? We're not getting peak LeBron James and Kevin Durant coming into our side. We're going to get other second-tier stars who are maybe good enough to move this team forward, but might have the exact same issues that these players have. That's why they're also tradable, right? Like, and fans just, and they don't do that, and they think that you either hate, the only option now is you either hate their team or you're being paid by someone. And it's like...
So, like, Jared, like coming back to that Salt question. So, How do you rate Jaden Cox? And he's also a wicketkeeper, right? So
Jordan Cox.
is
isn't
he?
it?
So Jordan Cox. So is he even a option?
Yeah, he's a fantastic cricketer. No, I rate him quite highly. Is he going to be good in the IPL this year? I'm not sure. So last year in the 100, he averaged 61 at a strike rate of 173. But was it the? But he went to SA20 and made 0 runs and on a negative strike rate. And I'm trying to remember, did he play in another league as well? Did he play in the Big Bash? No, he played in the Big Bash. So
He scored 100 in 100, right? Last year he scored like.
we might have, yeah. No, I think he's a fantastic cricketer. I've thought that for quite some time. I'm not sure about his keeping. I'm not sure I've seen him keep that much, if we're being honest. I can't think of ever seeing him keep. I'm sure I have, but
But he is a keeper, right? Checking on Cricinfo also, it says
He had,
wicketkeeper.
oh no, Deepak, oh no. Oh, incredible pull shot into the crowd here. Well, actually, just short of the crowd, but went for 6. We had this earlier today. You got to be careful with this, Deepak. So we looked up Pathan the Sunker, and poor Akshay said he was listed as a keeper in the auction. He's a keeper on there. And so we looked up all 400 of his professional games that he's never kept at the professional level before.
Well, the Cricinfo says that he is.
That's not how it works.
Exactly. That's I'm kind of.
Because that could be underage cricket.
Oh.
Cricinfo doesn't do it in that way. It's the actual Cricinfo. This is. Do you remember when we were talking about this actually when we were setting up Combox? I said to you we have to set up the player things a lot better, and this is one of the reasons why. Because Cricinfo will tell you things that are just not true. Like it lists people as all rounders. How about all those under? Like you've got all these Indian kids coming in bowling at 85 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour, and they're all listed as medium pace on Cricinfo. That's because when they were under 17s or under 15s, they were medium pace.
Yes.
All right, should we have a look? Jordan Cox, let's see how much he's kept. He certainly has kept, so you don't have to worry about that one. He has kept in 51 games and not kept in about 200. So about 20% of the time.
Yeah.
This is all professional cricket, by the way. All professional cricket. When he doesn't keep, he averages 37. When he does keep, he averages 28. Do you want me I'll just check T20 though for you.
That's a drop.
But it could also be a case of him sort of keeping earlier, and that's when he was also developing as a player, and then he stopped keeping, he improved as a player, and just completely. So
It could be 100% that.
That's a possibility, definitely.
That's a great shot, that last one as well. A couple of big sixes here.
No, I just checked. So it was not 100, it was 86 runs at 100.
86
so,
was it?
Yeah, but that was like one hell of a knock because I think scored his runs in like 28, 29 balls.
Yeah, his record in T20 cricket. He's done most of his keeping in T20 cricket, actually. And his record's about the same in both. He's a little bit faster when he keeps, and he averages a little bit more when he doesn't keep. But he's kept in 42 games and not kept in 136. So still, very much, I think that's a similar percentage to someone like Robbie.
Yeah.
Robbie, and there was someone else that we looked up recently.
But like considering the fact that KKR even went with Raghuvanshi as a wicketkeeper, right, to begin with. So just to kind of add little flexibility to your side. So because Bethel hasn't kind of taken off, though he's just played 3 matches. It's a very small sample size to even kind of judge him. But if they really think that Salt is not coming back anytime soon, so why don't they? But again, if they see that Jitesh is horribly out of form and that's kind of disturbing their balance. So is it worth trying somebody like Jordan Cox then?
But if you can't just try Jordan Cox, though, can you? So you'd have to drop Bethel and bring Jordan Cox in, and then do you replace Jitesh? Oh, there's a beautiful some shots here, hasn't he? He's really played well. What's he on, 27 off 11 or something ridiculous?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's have a look.
But I don't think if Jordan Cox comes in, then who opens for RCB? That becomes the question, right? He'll be that middle order finisher.
No, he has opened. He's opened. He's opened.
If he opens, then who do you replace Jitesh with?
He's not an opener, man.
But he has opened, right? This is
Not,
what.
nine times out of 170 games he's opened.
So that would be,
I'm willing to say that's not an opener.
Yeah, definitely. That
He's
would
actually been really bad when he's opened, weirdly. He mostly bats at 3 and 4. That's probably where he's at his best.
So again,
Oh.
because Jitesh and Salt bat above and below that respectively, so again, it has
Yeah.
to be a big change that way. Bethel, you can just slot him in and slot him out, so it becomes easier. So none of the others will have to,
Oh my
change
God.
their roles or bat out of that
The
position.
Sunker's going nuts
Oh.
here, guys. Is this because
This
they
is
dropped him?
amazing shot. Amazing shot.
I think he's been in this form all year long, by the way. He just hasn't stayed in long enough to do this.
Yes. Like, do they want to try somebody like Kanish Chauhan, somebody, some under 19 kid who can actually give them the six bowling option also and can maybe just whack some at the end of the innings? Is this can be an option for them? But like obviously asking too much from a youngster. But
Here's
like he
the
had a
issue I
good one.
have. Like they are. I think we all agree they're still legitimate. They're a favourite to be at least top 2, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So at this stage, you'd say they're a legitimate chance of making the final. Do you really want to bring in a 19-year-old now who has not played a cricket game since February at the back end of the season over a guy who has proven that he is a consistent hitter in the IPL in his 5-year career, 5 years?
Yes. Yeah, to be honest, that's the whole reason I was so against it, even when Jitesh was failing match after match, because at certain time, look, this is similar to what happened to even I would say somebody like Yusuf Pathan 2014, right? KKR kept on backing him, and then he won that match for them, and also helped them reach the top 2 with the run rate and everything. So, at 22 balls 70, that insane innings of his, and this is the kind of innings Jitesh can very easily play. He played one last year also, right? Against LSG when he won that match from nowhere. And that's like one of the best IPL innings, if we talk about that in terms of the context of the match also. And also somebody scoring so massively coming at number 6 or below. So I think he has the potential, he has the capability.
He's lucky to get away with that. He's bowled a full toss outside leg stump,
Yes.
and that was a really good shot by Patham Desanka, but somehow he finds backward square leg. Okay, you could bring Venki in, but again, isn't Venki a different kind of player?
Yeah,
exactly. So is it possible to open with Venki then? So like Venki and Virat opening the batting.
I mean, Venki also tends to take a bit of time. So Nojhan, again, is a bit susceptible versus the new ball. So too much to expect. And another thing, Deepak, about youngsters like Kanishk or even Vihan Malhotra, they have 2 under-19 kids. One thing that this management, this RCB think tank has been very clear about is they're not big fans of youth. They're big fans of experience. They're big fans of proven
they hate
quality.
kids. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, sure. Anti-pedophiles, if that makes sense. But and they've been clear and vocal about this. And in a way, if you look at even someone like a Mangesh Yadav, who was touted to be a short starter for them, the fact that they chose, to not start him, which in a way is also good, because I prefer teams not bringing in someone just because they've paid a lot of money. Like Simon Dool says time and time again, don't play your most expensive 11, play your best 11. So that's something they've also probably tried to shy away from. So I don't see the under-19 kids getting a chance unless they are like incredible talents who you just can't, like they're like someone like Sooryavanshi, you just can't bench them anymore. They have.
No, look, to be honest, I am not a big fan of too many changes upfront. I'm just coming up with all these questions to basically, because I'm going to I'm basically going to face all these questions in today's post-match type, because we didn't do one day yesterday because we had certain technical issues also, and that's why I'm very sure I'll be kind of bombarded with all those questions today. So I'm just kind of running through all the permutation combinations, because these are the questions that will be asked. So also kind of clearing up my mind, like what all options RCB has beyond this top 8. Like if the 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8 are not firing, who else can they go back? Like number 8 is not even a discussion point, right? Because Krunal Pandya is is a bonus with the bat because he's giving so much with the ball already.
Jesus.
So yeah.
What is Deshpande doing? He's bowled 2 full tosses down the leg side of this over.
Yes, I know this pitch is supposed to slow down. The spinner should be playing a major role today, but like the Pacers are not doing any good to that. So they kind of making sure by the time spinners come in, so they would be behind the game.
Gindo says Flower just loves Romario, even had him in LSG. There aren't many players in the world like Romario, right? There isn't like a backup.
Yeah, exactly.
Romario can hit 50 runs off 10 balls pretty easily, right? Like,
Yes.
there just aren't players out there that can, like, the amount of time, like, yes, he fails a lot. Yes, he plays in a highly volatile position. We all make fun of his bowling, right? But he tries really hard. He's got incredible work ethic, and he has the ability to hit multiple sixes in a row at any one stage, right?
Yes.
There just aren't versions of this out there. And that kind of a player, with him and Jitesh in their roles, they should be more up and down than other players. They should have good years and bad years.
Also, like Romario came off his own at the business end of the tournament last year, also, right? So he was pretty much the sleeping giant throughout, and then just suddenly woke up at the business end of the tournament, and that added so much different dimension to the overall dynamics of RCB last year. Also, if you just because the 13 ball 50 came in almost at the business end of the tournament, right? It was after the
There was
first half
11th
because
game. Yeah,
yeah,
it was the 11th.
yeah, exactly. So clearly, he kind of, and this is when suddenly RCB started looking a much more dangerous side because you knew that there's somebody after Tim David also who could just simply blow it away.
Yeah.
And
That's the
then
other thing.
Jitesh,
Having both of them
yeah.
there is terrifying, right?
Yes.
I don't think people understand, like they've got two very similar kind of players who, because Tim David's got better and he can bat up the order, it means they can fit both of them into their side. I mean, it completely changes what happens. And this is a league where people, like, there are lots of guys who can hit 50 off 15 with the new ball and the power play, right? With all the fielders up. That is not easy to do at the death in this league where it is hard to score fast these days, right? So,
Seriously, like, ask Mumbai how much they would be ready to shell out just to have those names on the sheet itself. Like, not even like kind of expecting
they had
performances,
both of
just
them
to
2
have.
years ago.
I was about to say they have
Yeah,
actually,
exactly.
in fact, had these people.
Yes, exactly.
The
But
very
now
same names.
they've seen the negative impact of letting go such players already. So
And another thing, Deepak, maybe if you really want to talk about what they can change or consider, it's probably down to now bringing in a replacement for Nuvan Tushara. So that's the direction then they can look at. Who do they sign as Tushara's replacement in order to directly try and fit into their top order? If you feel, I mean, not top order, if you think that middle order is not probably working for them, then are there options available outside? For them to recruit and bring in as Tushara's replacement, because I don't think they need another pacer. Duffy's done a decent job as a backup pacer, so in all likelihood,
yes.
they will keep it that way. So you can probably consider that. Like, that could be a point for you.
Yeah, that's a possibility, definitely.
Someone needs to replace KL Roll's bat because this one ain't working.
Having said that, I've seen him at 9 for 14 of 9 for the last couple of overs, so he's hardly got any chance to bat. Like Nishanka was just farming all the strikes.
Well, he was getting 2s and 4s in the last over, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
There we go.
I mean,
time this one through the gap, and that's 4. That's actually quite a bad ball from Brajesh. It's overpitched and it's wide. It's like the worst of both. Tom says, on Sunrise's replacement, Ambush, have you followed him? Deepak?
Not much, to be honest, but yes, a little bit. Not like I would say I've followed his game, like followed his game.
We don't mean like, have you gone to the bathroom after him, or do you know where his parents live? Can you tell us something about him as a cricketer?
Like, as I said, like just glimpses of him, not like having
no
too
one's
much
calling you a
information.
stalker. We just want to know what he is. Give us some information. Do you understand how broadcasting works? This one's hit up to mid off, and there's 1 run.
He is a pace
Like,
bowling all
to be
round.
honest,
Hey,
like, not
look at
having
that! Akshay did it.
What?
He's a pace bowler.
He's a pace bowling
Yeah, like-
all-rounder. Yeah. So, rare commodity already. Is
Yeah,
that my phone
exactly.
ringing?
But, like-
That was mine.
Oh, so how did you even get to know that? So is it because
can
like it's
continue.
Jared and we know that Jared has an iPhone? yes, again, like as I said, like just a little bit, not much, to be honest.
No one is
So-
asking you what percentage you know of his game. What we
Like,
are
this much
asking
only.
is,
Like I think
there
Akshay
a
is
comp
kind of
with him?
uh,
Is he fast? Does he swing it? Does he hit the pitch? Does he skid it? Does he have a
He's-
good Yorker? Any of these basic details would be better than you keep saying, yes, I followed him, but I don't know much about him. That means nothing.
No, I'll just I'll just share a bit on what I've heard. He's a 17-year-old who played the Under-19 World Cup as well. Express pace. He's already clocking in excess of 140, and he's also a proper batter who can bat somewhere 5-6.
Like-
He's supposed to be
on a pace front, I would say Omkar still is much quicker because he's somebody who was expected to kind of really set this IPL on fire. Somebody who's consistently clocking 145 plus. So Amrish is still not that league, but yes, a good prospect
And that's
for future. I'm
Patham's
not very
50,
sure
by
if
the
his
way.
game.
Another big shot off
Yeah.
the back foot, whacked away.
played.
So there's no
With
light
Amrish,
right now.
it's
So
more
I think I
about
forgot
his
to.
potential.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's like somebody like maybe a very early version of Nitishma Reddy with a little bit more pace and who can be actually groomed well in the future. But I'm not yet sure whether he can be in the playing 11 at this moment. Until unless they really want. Yeah, I'll better just switch
Not
on
a starter, but from people I rate highly, like scouts, I rate highly. They tout him to be like the next Hardik Pandya. They think he's someone who can win you games by himself with the bat and the ball, and that's again very, very, very rare in India, especially someone who's a pacer. So that's what sort of made him very high on top of a lot of teams. KKR also brought him in for their trials. I think CSK also were exploring bringing him in as one of their replacements. So SRH, another thing I'll have to say, fantastic on their scouting bit as well. Some of the players that they've brought in the last couple of
Yeah.
years, Harsh Dubey, Shivang Singh, there's Smaran, who's not even played for them, but Smaran is a talent who's waiting to explode. And now there's Amrish who's come in, Saqib Hussain that we've seen. So good on them. Very smart buys that they've managed to recruit.
And they have invested a lot in the young talent. Like even the leggy who comes from Ranchi, I forgot his name. I think Aman, I guess. I'm just not able to recall his name.
Cranes, Fuletra, there's this guy.
No,
there's,
not Fuletra. Fuletra has
Ishan
been doing
Ansari.
the.
Yeah.
No. The other leggy, who I think comes from Ranchi. So he was a net baller with them for quite a long time now.
Oh, okay. Zishan, I knew was the Zishan Ansari, but UP ka, yeah.
No. I'm not able to recall his name. Let me check.
In fact, I just read somewhere today, SRH, of the 25 players that they have as part of their roster,
Amit Kumar.
Achha, yeah, they have 12 uncapped Indians in their roster, on their roster. So,
Yes.
I mean, that's something.
We've got a really good. It's funny how all the information we got off that guy that you knew absolutely nothing about. Prudvi says, who are the best and worst batters against a full toss? It feels like technical batters like Kohli, Gill do not maximize runs at a full toss. Could a surprise full toss be a valid thing? So, look, there are lots of people who struggle against full tosses, but even the worst batters against full tosses are going to score about half a run more than, maybe that's not right. Maybe like a third of a run more than they would normally. So it's a huge risk. And you hear a lot about people like, it's a good wicket-taking delivery. It is if you're willing to go for about a run an extra, in order to get it. I'll tell you this. Ishan Kishan has faced 56 full tosses and has been dismissed once and scored 129 runs against them. Tilak Varma and Shreyas Iyer also, all three of them almost never get dismissed of full tosses. Abhishek Sharma, in fact, has never been dismissed off a full toss. The worst player against full tosses in terms of wickets, gentlemen, IPL last 5 years. There's a clue.
Yeah, Kohli,
We're watching a game today, and he may have even faced a full toss today.
KL Rahul.
Nope. Earlier today, did someone go out to a full toss?
Oh,
Yes, Jaiswal.
Jaiswal, in the last 5 years, has been dismissed 6 times from 56 full tosses. He averages 19 against them. So I don't think you should try and bounce the ball against him. As far as just scoring rates, it is pretty much as you would expect, as this commenter said, as another boundary this time from Roll, who's just getting back into form after that little dip, as we said before. Who do we think is the fastest scorer of full tosses? Last 5 years, minimum 50 full tosses faced. Again, we have talked about him.
Tim David?
Tim David?
Tim David.
Yeah,
What do you think his strike rate is against them?
300 plus.
350 is
Exactly
what I was saying.
300. Right?
Wow.
What? I won't tell you who the second player is, but the second player, how far back per ball do you think the second player is from Tim David?
230, 220, I guess.
253.
250.
That's Rinku Singh. Okay?
Oh.
So it is, this is the last 5 years, and I think if you look traditionally, this Andre Russell would be up where Tim David is, but obviously, I don't think he's actually faced enough to be on my list. But I think if you look at all cricket, he's back up there again. So Tim David is 300, Rinku Singh is 253, MS Dhoni is 243, Heinrich Klaasen's about the same, Sky's about the same, and then you've got Ishan Kishan at 230, and everyone else is closer to 200. There's a bunch of guys who are very, very close to 200. Do you want the guys who are significantly beneath 200? Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul, Shivam Dubey is the one that doesn't fit this, Tilak Varma, Hardik Pandya, Shubman Gill, and Virat Kohli.
Virat I was expecting, because we've seen so many times that
Yeah.
he was not able to put full tosses away, but like some of the names are surprising.
I think if you play with a straight bat, it's actually very hard to play full tosses.
Yeah, that's why Shubman Gill and Virat was like pretty much expected there, but some of the names were like kind of surprising.
Yeah. But there you go. It's a great question, Prithvi.
So finally, the fan is now on. Suddenly, the electricity went 10 minutes back, so I was a little worried for the inverter. Suddenly, because during the day, it just kind of goes nuts at times.
I'll let you guys take this question. I'm just going to whip off for 10 minutes and put my food in the oven.
All right, let's just take what
Important thing.
Shreyas has to say. Yep. In my opinion, RCB just needs Virat to be at the crease for a set amount of overs, which he does most days, so that the other 6 guys can blast around him. So more of a statement, less of a question by Deepak Bhai. Agree with it?
Yeah, I think because look at the 3 matches where they kind of struggled, right? Talk about that match against RR. Virat started off pretty quickly, but then he got out within the power play, and we saw that pattern even in that match against DC, where he was again he started off quickly, but again got out in the power play. So I think apart from that CSK match, where even though he got out early in the power play, where he was playing million shots on a very difficult surface, like this, it was tough to begin with.
Yeah.
I think, and also a lot of credit goes to Tim David in that match, because the way he finished, I think this has been the pattern. So they really want him to kind of remember there was this one innings of his where he was very slow, and even then RCB managed to win that match. And
Versus MI. 50 of 38 or 39.
yeah,
and
versus
RCB
MI,
240.
versus MI. So I think with considering the fact that their number 6, 7, 8 are struggling, and 2, 3, 4, 5 are in same form, I would agree that if Virat could actually be that anchor finisher for them, then others can simply play around him, and they would be able to maximize their hitting ability. So I would agree on that, because both of the times they had the firepower, like against RR, even against GT yesterday, but they just had the batter was kind of just getting out all the time. So they needed somebody who could just anchor on one end, and others would just blast off from the others.
That is true. Meanwhile, DC so far have done a fantastic job of staying in the hunt for this chase. 7 overs, 78 for no loss. So I don't think that's too bad a start. Interestingly, Deepak Bhai, Karun Nair is also padded up along with Nitish Rana. So in all likelihood, he's
Yes.
going to be the impact sub, so not Abhishek Puret. What do you make of that?
Maybe his ability against spin, I would say, because look, this surface should slow down, and we should see a lot of spin. Who's the impact player for Rajasthan? Is it Yashraj Punja or
I want to know.
think
I
it was
think Tushar Deshpande. Tushar Deshpande was the
Deshpande?
impact sub. Yeah.
the thing with the surface though, Deepak bhai, one more thing. Last game here itself, like because SRE chased down 228, you think DC's also probably basing their plans off of that. You know what? Last game we've seen them really score a lot of runs in the second innings too. So is that something for them to factor in?
I think if you would look at that innings also, in the first inning itself, RR
Oh, that's a
struggled after
misfield.
40. So RR
Nah,
struggled
yeah,
after
yeah,
14 overs, right? So it was a little difficult to hit against spin. I think this is where
yeah,
RR missed the trick. They didn't use the spinners that well, right? Jaddu just bowled 1 over. Even same was the
yeah,
case
yeah.
with Vishnoi. And I think Parag came in and bowled 1 over. I think they just, because Abhishek batted for such a long time, and also Ishan and the insane hitters of spin, I think they just could not execute their plans that well. Here, I think that would be important. I think spin should play a significant role, as the surface should slow down. It was said during the pitch report also, and even Ryan Parag also mentioned about it at the toss time. So already we are seeing some grip from Jadeja in this over. Like you could see that ball gripped, even the last one. So I think keeping that in mind, Karun Nair makes a lot of sense because he is a decent player of spin.
Fair enough. Let's see. I mean, the only point for me is Purell came in last game, and I don't think he did too badly versus RCB, where he was given the job of arresting that collapse. Then why didn't they back Karunayar then? Because Karunayar can also do that job. So what was the thinking that Purell made sense to them last game, but Karunayar makes sense this game? That I don't know if it's in my head. I don't
Like
know if I'm
if the
making any
ball
sense
is
of
if
that.
ball is swinging and seaming a bit, I think the kind of start they had, I would any day back Purell, because I personally feel that he's more accomplished in that particular sense, because that is one area where Karun Nair is a little vulnerable. Like we've seen that with his open stance, if like ball is swinging, seaming, he becomes a little vulnerable because he's more hands, less of a I would say a foot movement. So that might be the reason, the rationale, because like 6 wickets down for 8 runs and ball doing a bit against top class pace attack. I think they just felt that it was just not the right moment for him, because you wouldn't like, we saw that in England also, right? Even the ball was doing a bit, he
Yeah.
had that vulnerability outside the off stump, right? So that was where majority of the wickets were kind of falling in that match, because Hazelwood was bouncing the batters out and Bowie was able to swing the ball around. So that's
Fair.
the only rationale, I think. And today, I think it
Yeah.
should be
But
more of spin.
yeah, by the way, fantastic shot that from Rahul as well, who's now slowly getting into his group to 30 of 18. 92 for no loss, 8.1 overs. Boss, DC is doing a very good job. RR has to somehow put a break on the acceleration. I mean, what options do they have in terms of wicket
So,
taking or wicket
so
takers?
and Akash, they actually also one question for you. Like, considering the fact that they played Yashraj Punja in last match, right?
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
even though he went for 4 overs 41, in the context of the match, we all felt he bowled really well, right? He was able to
yeah,
tie
yeah,
down
yeah,
somebody like Shreyas Iyer also. And
yeah.
suddenly to bench him again and to bring back Ravi Bishnoi, like, what is the actual rationale behind that? Like, what do you think might be the reason for this?
The way I would look at it is both of them are wrist spinners, but they're very different kinds of wrist spinners. Ravi Bishnoi is flattish, more skiddish that way. Yashraj Punja sort of tries to, back his ability to extract more bounce. Neither of them are big turners of the ball. Bishnoi's
Yes.
also got a good googly. So I don't know if it was more a surface dependent decision, but I think it's a horses for courses thing, wherein they feel that surface or though that matchup or that opposition was suited more to Yashraj Punja, where he gets a bit more bounce. It was Mullapur, high scoring venue. So that's the only rationale that I can come up with. I don't see any other reason at the end of the day.
Because having said that, both the grounds, like even this ground and one at New Chandigarh, they are massive grounds, they're big grounds. So somebody like Yashraj Punja who gets that extra bounce from the surface, the chances of top edges kind of carrying to the outer fielders also, right?
Yeah.
And they dropped Bishnoi
Oh,
because they felt, yeah, see, like
where's that
they
gone?
dropped
That's a
him,
six.
yeah, it's a six, because they
Yeah.
dropped him thinking that he is not kind of in the right form they want him to be in, right?
Yeah.
And then suddenly a kid comes along. In both the matches, I felt he bowled really well, even against KKR. And
Yeah. Yeah.
yesterday, sorry, like, and the other game against Punjab, when Punjab had all the wickets in hand, I think he was the kind of the difference in the middle overs, right? Because he was able to take out two major wickets in that match. And
Yeah. He slowed down
then,
Prabhsimran Singh. That itself was a
yeah,
major
exactly,
job done.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. So then kind of benching him and again bringing back Vishnu. I agree. Like New Chandigarh has more bounce. This is more of a skiddy surface where I traditionally like Bishnoi should be the factor, or is it because Bishnoi has played a lot of his cricket on this
Could
ground?
be.
So
It's one of those in between calls wherein because Bishnoi himself has done fairly recently this season, so
yes,
I don't know I just want to believe once again it's that horses for courses thing where they feel Bishnoi is more suited to these conditions and Yash was probably more suited to that. Barring that again, unless we hear from them itself what the reason was, yeah, I don't know because someone in the chat also mentioned that apparently. Oh, is that? Oh, six. Oh my God, that's a
six.
fantastic
Yes.
over, man. Brilliant over.
So
This one.
that's
20
that's
runs
that's
off of
that's
it.
what I'm kind of thinking now in the context of the match. This single
Yeah.
over has
Yeah.
changed the
Yeah.
whole complexion of the match. This is where I think DC was able to slow down RR in between Akshar and Kuldeep. I think they gave away like 43 runs in 5 overs, if my memory serves me right.
Yeah.
42 runs of 5 overs, and that was one phase where RR was kind of struggling to keep up with the pace. And now, in 3 overs, 38 runs on a surface, which is supposed to be getting a little slow, and that all has happened outside the power play, right? So 20 runs in over number 9, which the phase which is supposed to be a little, I would say, a relatively polar friendly phase, a relatively slower phase. I think now like DC is in a little bit of a say I would say RR is in a little bit of precarious situation. So this is where I'm kind of worried because spinners take little time to get into their groove, right? They tend to take some time to find their form, to find their rhythm. And you've given the chance to the youngster who's finally getting into his groove, getting into his elements, and then suddenly you've changed him again. So, and also that puts a lot of pressure on Bishnoi because he knows that he's been benched. So he has to do a little bit more to kind of cover up for that. So I'm just not able to understand what's the rationale behind it. So, Jared, we were discussing like last match they benched Bishnoi, played Yashraj Punja, who did fairly well and was able to kind of restrict the scoring in that middle
Oh,
overs
wait.
against Punjab.
Nasanka's out. I've never seen a bowl get appealed for before, but that felt like he was bowled to me, and then the umpire gave it out. Was it not bowled?
I have no idea. My entire feed is so messed up. I'm just not getting
Oh
the
no,
proper
it's not
feed.
bowled. Maybe it wasn't. Okay.
Oh, it's LB. It's LB. Oh, my bad. My bad.
No, I saw the bails go off, but I swore that I just saw the ball bowl in behind his legs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's
No,
have a look here.
even I thought that I saw the Bale's flicker or light up. No, it wasn't the case. It was Jurel's very shiny pink pants.
Okay. This looks like it's hit him outside the line. It's a weird camera angle.
Could be. I think it's umpire's
Yes.
call, to be honest.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Impact looks like umpire's call, to be
The
honest.
bails never came off at
Yeah.
all, actually. I don't know what you and I
Yeah.
saw.
That's what it was. It was just the pants and in that background.
Yeah.
It just sort of that was it.
Well, he's
I
been
think
given out
impact would be
LBW.
umpire's call. Yeah.
I need to do something about my feed. It's kind of getting.
So he's gone for the big reverse sweep here. We're about to see the DRS. Oh, it could be okay. Yeah, it's going to be umpire's call, isn't it? It was always hitting the stumps. It's got good impact. That's better impact than it looked on the original camera, by the way. I said it was a weird camera angle. It looked a bit wider than normal. Anyway, that's what they needed. Patham Nasanka is gone. Great comeback from him after what has been a frustrating time for him so far.
Yes. So, Jared, like we were discussing this fact that they benched Ravi Bishnoi in the last match against Punjab. Punjab came in, really did well, choked Punjab in those middle overs, especially I think Prabhsimran struggled against him. And then he's out and Bishnoi is back. So, and Bishnoi is getting
Who came in
hammered
for him?
here. So, Bishnoi?
Bishnoi.
No. Who was the one? Who was it?
Yashraj Punja.
Ah,
The leg spinner. Yeah.
yeah.
So what is the rationale behind it? Like a youngster comes in, really does his bit, 4 overs, 41 for 2 in a match where like 220 was chased, and then suddenly you bench him, bring back Ravi Bishnoi, whom you benched in the last match because you felt that his form is just not there. So
Do you want to know
What
what
is
I
that?
think they did? I think
Yeah.
this is a classic case of Bishnoi was bowling fantastically this year, right?
yes,
Then they brought in another young leg spinner, and he did better, but he did well bowling in tandem at times in the first game with Bishnoi. Is that what happened? That's my memory
but
of
in
it.
in Punjab game,
No,
Bishnoi was replaced.
I'll
by
explain
that.
it. Your brain is too fast. You've got to let me get there, right?
Okay.
And so they went, well, wait a minute. What if the other leg spinner's better? Right? They bring him in, but then they realize there's now an issue with Bishnoi, who they probably want to play in the finals over a young leg spinner that they don't fully believe in. And they've managed to potentially do what I would call the double whammy, where you fuck up twice, right? You fuck up the confidence of the existing bowler, and now they're potentially fucking up the confidence of the young bowler who might be saying, well, as you've said, well, wait a minute, wasn't I bowling? Why was I dropped? I was doing well.
Yeah, exactly. Because this is the exact discussion we had in the last match. Like, why did they bench Bishnoi? Because
I would have just kept the youngster as the second spinner for when they needed him, and they get plenty of information. They would have hopefully finished third or fourth, which they still might. They certainly should. And then next year, you've got what 10 months to work out if Yash is the real deal and he can take over from Bishnoi's job. Is that fair?
yeah, makes sense.
I mean,
But this is what happens when you run your team like fans do things. Shout out to all of Pakistani cricket on that one. Because, I mean, it could also be that, like, they did, you know, I can't remember the second game, so I may not have covered that one. But I thought he bowled good in the first game, but I didn't think I would replace him with Bishnoi.
Yeah, definitely. I would not also do that. And that's the reason I was a little shocked at that time. But then after he did well, I couldn't find a reason why he would be benched.
yeah.
I mean,
the only
yeah. Sorry, go Akshay.
like we were also discussing, the only cricketing logic to that was because both of them are different kind of leggies. So was it a case of them just sort of, you know, being very matchup specific versus Punjab Kings and maybe a Shreyas Iyer, a taller spinner who can extract more bounce makes sense. Maybe versus Delhi, a flattish, more skiddish, quicker spinner made sense. Like, I don't know, again, thinking out loud, not sure. I'm not saying that's the case. Yeah.
It's possible. It's possible. I mean, if that's the case, I'm probably more in favor of it. But again, if you're going to do that, you have to communicate really, really well. So when I was at RCB, they had this whole thing about how they were going to rotate players. And like they told me it's going to be like baseball, it's going to be like a platoon and blah, blah, blah. And then after the first game, they brought someone out who played good in the last game and he lost his mind. Right? And he didn't see it that way. And I remember 09 Ashes. 09? No, 10-11 Ashes. So Mitchell Johnson has a bad first test. And Australia had always planned to rotate him out for the Adelaide test, right? They made it really clear publicly he's not being dropped. We're not dropping him because of what happened. We were always planning on him not playing in this game. Next test, Mitchell Johnson takes 10 wickets at Perth, wins the test for Australia, and goes, after being dropped for that last one. That's how they see it. It's hard, right? We're not a sport that is used to this. And so, you know, Jimmy Anderson and Broad were complaining like crazy towards the end of their career for that sort of stuff, right? Actually kind of makes sense that you guys aren't playing every test match. Don't tell them that.
Yeah, exactly. I remember that series, and he just ran through England in that Perth test match. And he did well with the bat also in that match. He scored a 50, I guess.
Can't remember. Yeah, he might have.
Yeah. Because in both the Perth test matches, I think his performances were almost same. Like 2013-14 and 10-11. Both time he scored a 50 and both time he took like crazy wickets, like 5-wicket hauls.
I know the second one was the sort of that's just the way he plays KP one when he got caught trying to hit into the Fremantle Doctor for Lion for 6, which I wrote about in the book.
But
Also,
the
remember
more,
that was the one. Actually, sorry, just to butt in on you here. That was the
yeah.
test match where they didn't have a proper press facility at Perth. They had a tent side on, and it was 45 degrees. And halfway through day one, my computer just stopped working, and I didn't know what to do, so I just put it in the fridge. And then about 2 hours later, I came back, and everyone's laptops were in the fridge, right? And it ended up being the front page of the Daily Mail. The next day was all of our laptops in the fridge.
Yes, so he scored 62 in that test match. So it's like counter-attacking knock along with Brad Haddon.
But the most extreme example of rotation and all of this has to be John Buchanan with KKR, right? Like 7 captains or 8 captains that they
That
had.
was
I mean,
that was
so I know John quite a bit, and we'll get him on Combox at one stage. He probably wants his own podcast, knowing John. He's right at a certain point. And if you look at it, it's actually what England did, right? England had they had general leadership, they had like a batting leadership group, they had a bowling leadership group. So Broad and Anderson were part of that group, but the captain was still involved in it. That actually makes a lot more sense than one person making all the decisions. And if they get injured or there's too much for them to process, the best teams don't have one leader, right? We like to think of it that way because, we think of like, oh, this guy's a tactical genius. And that's how we like to do it. But actually, the best teams, you should be able to plug and play different styles and people into it. I think I said this recently, and an Australian cricketer sent me a DM about it. I made a video basically saying, if you look at it from the perspective of there's so many things that Pat Cummins does right, but the one thing he's not very good at is on the fly just changing it because it's not working that way. Pat Cummins is at his absolute best captaining when Steve Smith is annoying him by going, why do we do this? Why do we do this? Why do we do this? You take Steve Smith out of it, Pat Cummins doesn't have that gear, right?
yes.
That doesn't mean he's not a good captain. He's like a World Cup winning, Ashes winning, BGT winning captain. Like we all know he's a good captain.
WTC also.
Yeah, but WTC, all these different things. So we know he's a good captain, right? But we also know he works better when he has someone who's just going, I think we should try this, or I don't think this works, or whatever. You need all those people. So Buchanan's basic idea was fine. But this is the problem with Buchanan, is Buchanan goes from 0 to 1,000 in a millisecond every time, right? Buchanan is like the cricketing view of coaches, right? Eventually, he's proved right. Do you remember what you talk about that KKR thing? What did he do as KKR coach that now most cricket teams in the world have a form of? That was absolutely lambasted in the Indian press when he did it, and the cricket press in general when he did it. Either of you remember?
I don't know, pinch hitter up the order, something like that.
No, it was off field. It was coaching related.
Oh, okay, I'm not sure. No clue.
If I'm not mistaken, he was the first professional cricket team to have a full-time wicket-keeping coach.
Whoa, I had no clue about it.
So we've had coaches who were wicket keepers who could help wicket keepers before, and we'd had like the odd casual person come in. But I think he was the first person to be like, why would we not have a wicket keeping coach? This guy's going to take 40 balls a game, right? Doesn't make any sense. And he got fucking roasted for it. People are like, oh, you need coaches for everything now. And it's like, well, wait a minute. We have coaches for batting and fast bowling. Why do we not have coaches for spin bowling and wicket keeping? Doesn't make any sense. But he could have done that really quietly and no one would have known. He could have just hired someone who was a wicketkeeper who also was batting and just said they look after it. But he made a big deal out of, we need to be like the NFL, and everyone made fun of him.
So was he the one who actually introduced the concept of having like spin batting coaches and all in Australian cricket? Like,
I think you'd have to talk to him about it. As this is, sorry, that's replay. I'll get back to that. As this is hammered.
oh, this is massive. This is
Nitesh
a
Rana
massive shot.
slog sweep
Shot.
4-6 off Jadeja there. They need 100 off 53 from here. Whether he did it or not, I don't know. But he was the first. I think Buchanan was the first person to hire a fielding coach, wasn't he? And that fielding coach was even more controversial because it wasn't a cricketer. So who was
yeah.
Come on, Deepak, you know this.
I don't know. I
Was
don't
it
remember the name, but I know the story.
You know Akshay.
What, the French guy?
It was Betty Snowball. No.
Oh.
Yes,
But
because
again,
this was
also-
also-
this was also, I think, mocked a lot at that time, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
So nobody was able to understand the rationale behind it.
Anyone?
And seriously, like,
I'm
just
trying-
imagine like how much.
I know KKR had that mountaineer, like someone who done who climbed the Mount Everest and everything as part of the motivational something. Yeah, I'm forgetting that guy's name as well, but yeah.
Yeah, no, this is whacked down the
What
ground.
happened there?
Was that another boundary?
I'm still like 5 seconds behind.
So the guy's name is Mike Young. That was a 6 down the ground.
Okay.
The
Like,
guy's
what
name is
exactly
Mike
happened?
Young.
I just couldn't understand.
And he was the I think he might have been the baseball coach of the Australian team at one stage, but he also was involved in Cleveland Indians or whatever they're called now, Cleveland Guardians, and a few other teams along the way. But yeah, so we never had a fielding coach before, and John Buchanan goes from never having a fielding coach before to hiring a baseballer as the fielding coach. Like, you know what I mean? I think that first I can't remember who it is, but someone did a whole video, like one of the players who was there. This is straight. It's probably not going to be out. He's a long way down, but it goes for the sweep, and then there's a half a shout. There's a whole video by one of the former Australian players just saying what he just made fun of Shane Warne so much at that first session. And the other thing he was saying is he kept saying to the guys,
Beautiful batting.
and Deepak will know what I mean here. Actually, you might be a little bit too young as this one's hit over covers. But fielders used to throw the ball up. We were all taught when we were young to throw the ball up when we threw it back, right? Partly to protect the ball, but also because we thought that was the quickest way. And Mike Young was the one who basically just came in and said, it doesn't make any sense, right? Throwing it as hard as possible, as low as possible makes a lot more sense than throwing it up, right? As long as you're not bouncing it like 3 and 4 times and then ruining the ball, right? Or if you're going to throw it and make it on the full, it has to be like a bullet. It can't be up and slow because people will just be able to run more.
Yes, this was the thing in Australian cricket for long time, and other teams took a lot of time to get used to this. I clearly remember, like, there was so much discussion about it during so many matches, and
The
this
other
is
one,
also the time.
yeah, the other thing he brought in was he stopped people walking with the bowler. He said it doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
Your job is to go sideways most of the time. It's not to come in. If you want to come in, start from a closer position and take 2 steps in. So if you want a little bit of forward momentum, but having massive forward momentum when half the balls are hit straight to you really hard or half of them are hit sideways doesn't make any sense at all, right? And so I think it was Ponting. Ponting said, yeah, but if I'm out in the ring and I'm walking in, it means I'm closer to the batter than I would be normally. And Mike Young's like, so you do it every ball? And Ponting's like, yeah. He said, well, then they know where you're going to end up. You know, what's your advantage here? Just stand closer.
Makes sense.
I still see it now. You hear in junior cricket, you still hear it, and I say to all the coaches, "This is not taught in professional cricket anymore."
Just one thing, though,
This is amazing.
Did Buchanan ever sort of explain why he brought in Mike Young and not, like, say, John T. Rhodes or some established, like, popular?
I think
cricket
John T was
fielder?
still playing.
Okay, like anyone else, like a good fielder, like a cricketer, like who knows the sport.
The reason was really simple. At that stage, the idea was that fielding in baseball was well ahead of fielding in cricket. So why would you bring in? Oh, jeez, another boundary here. This Panday's kind of all over the shop here. Yeah, it was really simple. I mean, you were probably all too young for this, actually, but I think a lot of cricket fans would say the same thing over and over again, which was, it doesn't make any sense to us that fielding in baseball is so much better than fielding in cricket.
Yeah, this is the thing with cricket, right? As I mentioned, my first memory of Bob Woolmer, like a proper vivid memory of him, is he had this session during '99 World Cup where all the other coaches, commentators listened to him, and he came up with all those different things, why reverse sweep, all these things are important, a lot of stuff. And I clearly remember after that was a mid-innings kind of a show that he did during 2000 and during '99 World Cup. And after that, when the second inning started and all the commentators were talking about it, they were kind of slagging him off. They couldn't make any sense out of it. They said, like, it's too revolutionary, doesn't make any sense. That's going to ruin cricket. That can only work for a limited period of time, can have only limited success. I clearly remember, I have a very clear, vivid memory of that. So they were so excited about it because he was the thing in cricket at that time. like because everybody knew that he's doing something which is remarkable. I think he also brought in a lot of data into cricket and everything.
Well,
all
so
those things.
weirdly enough, he was based in Cape Town, right? And Cape Town is one of the sports science hubs of the world. And what we didn't even, no one even knew this, right? But for whatever
Yes.
reason, it was, and I, one of the others was in Australia, right? So it made sense that Australia and South Africa were head and shoulders above people when it came to sports science. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the device that goes down the back of the shirts that tracks your heart rate and everything.
Yeah.
That was invented in Australia in like the 80s, right?
Ooh,
And it was invented by the
80s.
government. Yeah, it was invented by the government to get better at sport. Like Australia put so much money into sport that they're investing in sports science when no one else anywhere else in the world, other than maybe some doping people, were putting money into sports science, right? Even American colleges at that stage weren't really doing stuff like that. So for whatever reason, Australia and South Africa are just head and shoulders above this. And so, when I was 17, 18, most of my friends went on, anyone who liked sport would study some sort of like movement-based thing or, biomechanics and, all these sorts of things, because that was like the big boom where I was from, was doing some sort of sports science. I don't think there are any jobs for any of these people, but they certainly all studied them. And so South Africa has the guy who came up with the keto diet, so the low-carb diet, right?
Yes. I've tried that once.
Yeah, I tried that. I think you and I are more before and after pictures on this.
No, I tried that in 2017, 18. I lost like 13 kgs in like 3 weeks or something, and then I didn't somehow, but all that bounced back so quickly once I stopped it, because it's very difficult to maintain, like, and
I find it
levels,
really easy, but I don't really like bread or pasta or sugar, so all the things I don't like are not in that diet. So it's
but the Indian food, it's very tough because like the options are so limited when it comes to this. And I've tried my level best in last 8 years to kind of repeat that. Never happened for me, never.
Yeah.
And all that weight came back pretty quickly because you lose a lot of the water weight and all.
I mean, you say in India it's pretty hard. Like, is this out? Was that? I thought he was. What was he appealing for then?
No, just.
Oh, he was easily in.
Like, what the hell is there in this edition of IPL? Like, run chases have become a joke, to be honest. Like,
it's good feeling.
By the way, Rian Parag's also not on the field. He's
what was that? A leg injury? It looked like to me.
Yeah. Hit his shin, if I'm not wrong. He's been off for a while.
Oh, that's fine then. He should be back next game. That'll probably just be a bone bruise or something on the shin, won't it?
That was a chance. And why don't bowlers do all the backing up these days? Like, why are they not on exactly at the stumps while taking these throws these days?
I can live with bowlers doing that, but I can't live with keepers doing that. Ever since Jared spoke about it, I've been thinking about like keepers not coming out.
It has become so out of fashion in today's cricket. Hardly anybody's at the stumps during all these things.
Oh, this is high and a beautiful shot from Nitesh Rana.
Massive.
When was the last time he batted this good in a season?
Way back. Almost a decade, I would say.
Oh, I thought KKR 23, you can say, when he was also the captain, he had a couple of like really good knocks. Like
he had good, like he had those binary scores, like 80, 0, 80, that kind of season.
He wasn't bad that year. Yeah. He actually had, he only averages 27, but in 2022, he averages 27 at 143, which is not too bad. And then 2019 was the last big year before that. So he waxed another 4. So this year, he's only, again, this is before this game, of course, he's averaging 28, but at 155. But I've got him in my notes over and over again going, looks really good and everything else. Also, the problem with Nitesh Rana is quite often, he's a limited player, right? You have to use him exactly to get the most out of him. And, and if you compare him to Rahul Tripathi, who I have to mention on every watch along by law, right? Rahul Tripathi's actually been used quite well by a lot of teams over the years. They're just like, we understand he's limited, but this is what he does. So we're going to use him for that. I reckon with Nitesh Rana, quite often teams are like, no, he's probably a bit better than Rahul Tripathi, so we can make him do other things. It's like, no, he can't. He's very limited. Let him do the thing he's good at.
And Tripathi ended up with the Indian team also exactly doing the same thing, right? 2023, I guess.
Yeah, that's crazy that
yeah.
he played for them.
I mean, Deepak
Was that
Hooda
the
played
Deepak
and also
Hooda
scored a
era?
hat. Yeah,
That
exactly.
was,
Exactly.
I would say that was post the Deepak Hooda era also, because that was the time when Indian team had already given up on him. So like Deepak Hooda was more 2022 and Tripathi was more 2023, I would say.
Do you
Tripathi
remember
came in
what-
with Rinku Singh fair.
This is a good tweet, a good message from Rudra. It says, Parag faked an injury to go vape. I respect it.
Nice.
We've
The
actually got...
Ranchis has become a joke these days. Seriously, I expected it to be a much closer game than this. To be honest,
Still,
like
I think a lot can go wrong from here, but you're right. They shouldn't lose it now. Did you guys do this one by Prit?
No, we didn't.
As this one is whipped away. Actually, I take that back. Deepak, you're right. This might be a very easy chase now. Punjab has quality bowlers, but are volatile. Arshdeep, Marco, Lockie aren't consistent like Bhuvi.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. They have world-class bowlers, no doubt about it.
But so basically what they have is, I would say that Punjab have a high strike bowling attack.
Yes.
And what RCB have is a high defensive bowling attack, right?
Fair,
So,
fair.
but there are probably games when maybe RCB wants someone just to come in and just be ridiculous in the middle overs. This team doesn't really have that, right? Like they've got Suryansh and Krunal bowling in the middle overs, whereas you can use Marco or Lockie in the middle overs, right? And they're always going to be a handful.
I think once Lockie settles in really well, because he looked rusty in the last match, right? That'll add a lot of balance to Punjab bowling, because he can be your enforcers in different phases of the game, and that changes the whole complexion of their bowling side. Because this is something which they missed. Because Bartlett is more of a new ball bowler, right? If
Yeah.
the new ball is not doing anything, he is almost a bird. I would say almost a burden outside of that, in the middle and the depth, and that's where like Lockie is a very different pedigree altogether. He's a very unique bowler to have. And I was pretty I was actually worried for Punjab last season when he got injured, because it was so hard to replace a guy like Lockie Ferguson, and somebody who really started well also. And I remember that match against CSK, where CSK was chasing to 218 last season in Mullapur, and they were still in with the shout. And then Arshdeep and Lockie came in, they took 2 wickets, had like 7 or 8 runs in 2 overs and killed the chase itself. So that is something which Lockie Ferguson can very well do, and he can bowl for you in the power play. He can come back and can bowl a wicket-taking overs in the middle and can actually be good at the death also. So I think once he settles in, that would be that missing piece of the whole puzzle.
I mean, with Punjab, that's what I'll say. They haven't been good so far. They can be good. They can improve themselves and become better, like form or anything, or Lockie can settle in. But so far, they've been bad. That's it.
That's a good question, September born, and then I think Jared, you can always give a much better insight on this. I think I personally feel
Can
that.
I just explain broadcasting to you again?
Yeah.
Firstly, don't say it's a good question. Read out the question so everyone's aware.
I will do that.
Also, it's aimed at you, this question.
Yeah. So that's so I should be the one who should be reading it. Then.
You don't have to. I'm just saying, but don't say it's a good question. Read out the question.
Yeah. This is hosting is something which I am very, I would say, afraid of, and I'll just try to add a little layer of it into.
You're allowed to be afraid of it, but still ask the question.
So DG, sir, what makes a good death bowler? Example, Jameson should be a good death bowler with his height and hard lengths, but he's not good at that. So I think it depends on the kind of pitch. Like we had a good bouncy surface in the last match, right? The mixed soil surface in Ahmedabad with 75% red soil, 25% black soil. I think somebody like Jamieson who can actually hit the hard lengths would be really handful on that surface. But this low bounce kiddie surface, if he's trying to bowl full at his height, he would come in as a floaty kind of a bowler who would then become really easy for a batter to hit. And this is what Riyan Parag did to him today. So I think the back of the length, hard lengths, all those things would work if the pitch has a little bit of bounce in it for him. So otherwise, I don't think so. It is that easy. So
only things I would add here is his back of the length ball is probably more him getting obscene bounce. It's not him hitting the pitch hard in the way that you might see from a Rabada type bowler, right?
Yeah.
Or an Arshad Khan type bowler, right? They hit the pitch really hard. Jamieson doesn't hit the pitch really hard. He's a swing bowler.
Yes.
Right? And so when you see his extra bounce, it's because he's bloody tall. So it's not the same as the other guys who hit the pitch really hard. And they're probably getting variation off the surface because they're hitting the pitch so hard, right? And he's not getting that.
Yes.
The other thing I would say is at the death, it is very hard to bowl Yorkers when you are very, very tall, right? If you are, Hazelwood type accuracy, you can do it. But generally, the best Yorker bowlers bowl from much lower because you have if you think about it from a physics perspective, much less likely for people to be able to get up and under you if you make a mistake.
Yes.
So the old Joel Garner days are and Glenn McGrath days are gone. You'd much rather be Malinga. There's an appeal here. Every ball I've seen from Deshpande today has been a completely different species to the previous ball.
That's a pretty weird grouping. In fact, no grouping today, I would say. And like obviously, Jamieson would come in as more of a floaty bowler, and with him, I think there are much more the higher chances of kind of erring both on length as well as also on the line. Because again, Yorker is a very, I would say, specific skill, a very hard skill to master, especially for somebody who's very tall. So that's where I think Joel Garner was exceptional. So
yeah, but also Joel Garner did it before scoops and bats had low middles.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? No one played those sort of shots then. So
yeah.
I'm not saying he wasn't incredible because he was. I mean, when people are like, oh yeah, but Joel Garner was doing it in that era, and I was like, yeah, he's still like a running over better than everyone else in that era. Like, if you can be that much better than anyone else, you're still an absolute genius.
Because we saw McGrath
by the way.
Yes,
we
saw like McGrath. Felt like McGrath. Remember in that 2002 game versus Zimbabwe, where like Douglas McGrath played all those scoop shots.
They're giving that out.
Oh,
strange.
Is the bat hitting the ground at the same time though, right?
I mean, I think it is possible he hit it. I'd like to see that again though.
But they overturned it straight away. I mean, they didn't even have
it was almost instantly. I mean, we don't have any sounds, so we're just going off just the visuals on our dodgy
Rana's still staying there, by the way. I mean, yeah, he's finally started moving. He's I don't know.
He would
like
have
you said, could have hit the bat. Yeah, he could have hit the bat, but yeah.
It looks to me like at the exact time the bat hits the ground, the ball hits the bat. So, like, I don't know how you can tell which spike is from which one.
Exactly.
Now that RR would be complaining, a much needed breakthrough this because Rana was looking good, and so has Rahul. Who do they send in now? Ashutosh? Just to go and finish the game?
Always. Sorry.
Yeah, like from a shots perspective also, like before listening to Robbie, I think it was very hard to kind of understand like why all those innovations took so much time to come in, all these scoop shots and everything. And then Robbie came up with his story that he played a reverse sweep in an under-19 match when they had like 9 wickets in hand and 2 runs to win. And he was dropped from a Ranji team because of that. So the director of Karnataka Cricket Association called him up, bashed him, and they grounded him from a Ranji team for playing that reverse shot.
There's a more famous story than that. I'm surprised you haven't thought about it. What about Mike Gatting?
1987, yeah, World Cup finals.
England apparently lost a World Cup because of a reverse sweep. It's actual fact. Exactly. It's a terrible shot what he plays because Alan Border is bowling, and I'd love to chat to Alan Border once to ask him if he realised what was happening. But he's a part-time bowler, if that. And he fires it, and because it's such a bad ball, Gatting has to reach back behind him. If that was the ball he was going to get, it would have been a wide, like 1.5 foot down the leg side if he just stood in his normal position. But either way, Border bowls this ball down the leg side, and for generations, English people told everyone not to reverse sweep.
7 runs they lost that match.
I thought it was more than that, wasn't it?
I know that they lost the match. I guess that's all I can say about that thing.
Yeah, no, you're right. 7 runs. I thought it was 12, but yeah. When did he go out? Let's have a look. But he went out when they were like 135 for 3. Like behind him in the batting, they had their best one-day player in that era of Alan Lamb. They had Paul Downton, who went on to be the chairman of selectors. They had Phil DeFreitas and John Embry, who could both hold bats. Maybe even Neil Foster. Could Neil Foster hold a bat? Let's have a look. A little bit. Yeah, he had 2 first-class hundreds, Neil Foster.
Yes.
They had plenty of batting after Mike Gatting. I'm just saying the reverse sweep is perhaps not the reason you lost that game. Ad says, in RR versus Sunrisers bowled only spin for 2 overs. Anyone remember that?
That was the last game in Jaipur and the first game in Jaipur. So they chased down 228. But that was also because Jurel got tied down, right? Jurel did not get out. He was there in the middle overs. Oh, wait. Asari's bowled spin. Oh. I'll have to see what happened. Let's see.
I think Shivansh played that match. He went for like 2 overs 30 or something. Because he was taken down by Vaibhav Sooryavanshi in that match. Dubey didn't play that match, if I'm not wrong, because Saqib did, Inge did, Cummins did, Nitishma Reddy obviously yes, and Malinga yes. They had a pretty dominant pace attack in that match, and Shivansh played in that match, but I think he missed his lengths against Vaibhav in the starting overs, and yes, he just bowled 2 overs 30 or something like yes.
You could take this, Akshay.
So Chehre can't be the fielding coach in future. Bummer. All right. I mean, sure, you win some, you lose some. I don't know what to say or what to make of that.
He's unlucky to miss out. Abba says, art of coaching when, who makes the list? I'll probably never write that. I do think that if you're looking for like the most important coaches in history, I can give you that list off the top of my head. It's quite easy. It's probably Aubrey Faulkner from South Africa, who went on to open a coaching academy in England, and it was kind of one of the more first sort of academy type places, and that was then copied by other people. And so I think that's a really important. He was obviously a great cricketer himself, and would coach himself out in the middle to the frustration of all the opposition bowlers when they were bowling to him. And then I suppose the next big boom is probably Bob Simpson when he takes over the Australian team. That's what the template of one-day cricket for the next 30 years is basically written by Bob Simpson. And then you have Woolmer and Buchanan, who come in, who are the 2 mad scientists who kind of change everything. And, you know, you've got then a lot of other really fascinating people who have come and gone. I think the MRF Pace Academy is a really interesting thing from top to bottom. The Rod Marsh and the Australian Academy is another thing that is quite fascinating. And then I would probably go, you've got guys like Trent Woodhill and Gary Palmer, Ian Pont, Stephen Jones. Who's the guy that's Sun on Orion's bowling coach? Is it Carl Crow, I want to say?
Carl
Crow, yes.
Yeah.
SRH, right? Oh, sorry, KKR coach.
KKR. He's another really fascinating one because he's basically a spin bowling coach
and he's been a spin bowling coach for ages at KKR, right? He's been there since ages, I would say.
He's been with Narain basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't look at spin the way that everyone else looks at spin, does he? He's very, like, I don't think it's a surprise that the two most interesting spinners of modern times have come under his tutelage. I think he's quite fascinating. I'm trying to think of some of the other coaches that are quite interesting. Those are the ones off the top of my head.
Since you mentioned Stefan Jones, have you heard of what's the guy's name? He was also with Punjab Kings as the power hitting coach. Julian Wood. He was with Bangladesh.
Julian Wood. I should have said him as well. Yeah, I with all due respect to Julian Wood, I've had very mixed reports on him from players who've worked with him before. Whereas Stefan Jones, most people are pretty pro, even if they don't stay with him. But Julian Wood is basically trying to make batters more like baseballers, and I think Trent Woodhill was probably doing a similar thing, but in a more cricket. And if you look at Trent Woodhill, I don't know how much people know about him, but Trent Woodhill has coached Head, Kohli, De Villiers, Bubba, Kane, Watson, Warner, Gale, and pretty much but his big hit. I'm not sure if I said this. His big hit was Steve Smith. I mean, that's a ridiculous run of people to coach in batting.
Yes.
And from what Trent's mad. He's a very good friend of mine, but absolutely mad. Trent, you know you're mad. Don't get upset that I've called you mad. You're clearly mad. But I haven't heard of too many people who don't think of Trent as a net positive on their batting, if that makes sense. They may not all go all in for his methods. But yeah, he's a force of nature if you meet him. So Trent's part of the reason I became an analyst. He just kept saying you should become an analyst. I said I don't know what that means. There's no jobs, and he got me in. The first job I had was the Melbourne Stars, and that's how I got in. And then he was He was the list manager of RCB.
No,
He was up in the air and saved. Oh my god, I have no idea.
But like,
I haven't
how do you
seen
even
the
evaluate
ball.
that? Like, he's moved the rope, right?
Yeah.
So how can you even check that? Like,
Okay, let's see what's happened. I'm seeing
With
now.
rope?
It's so hard to tell, Deepak, because he actually kicked the rope the other way. Have a look. Don't they usually paint a white line under the rope so they can tell?
yes, exactly. Generally, they have that marker or like at least some secondary
4 runs.
line also. Yeah, definitely it should have been because he
Yeah,
pushed
that's
the.
before. That's before.
Like, is it like KL 2.0 that we're seeing? He's getting the bulk also, and he's kind of scoring it at like almost 190 strike rate this season. I don't think so. He's done this ever before, even while he was at number 5 or 6, right?
No, he's done. He's smashed. He's out now. By the way, you've taken him
So
down.
I've jinxed him. I've jinxed him there.
No,
So,
no,
like,
he's definitely smashed the ball before. I've told you this before. He's one of those guys with great death numbers. He just doesn't usually bat like that.
yeah, you did mention that.
Yep.
But yeah, that's probably my art of coaching people.
And Woodhill was more like a batting coach. He began like that, then became a consultant director of cricket. He sort of evolved into that.
He's
role.
also the reason the 100 exists, by the way. One of the reasons.
He's
I
the
said,
reason BBL
Trent,
came
I
up
love
with
you,
those
but you
rules.
should not be in a room on your own with grown-ups talking about like what the regulations on cricket are.
Wasn't he responsible for the changes that BBL came up with?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Bash.
Yeah.
So
He's a
whatever,
really
power
smart
surge,
guy.
like
He's a force of nature if you meet him. I think he wanted to do a podcast for the IPL, but it was a bit too early for Combox. But in the future, I really want to get him onto Combox. I did a podcast with Trent Woodhill when no one knew who he was, by the way. He wasn't famous at this point. So 2015, it was a podcast with Trent Woodhill and John Buchanan. It's on Cricinfo. Yeah, and it was so good. The problem is it was so far ahead of its time that no one had any idea what those two were talking about. And it was before I did analytics, so I couldn't really catch up with them. And it was like talking to the future. It was so fascinating, the things that they were talking about.
Amazing.
And no one listened to it, guys. Negative people listened to it. I'm not sure the people who edited it listened to it.
I have a lot of questions for him. I've heard some very interesting things about him too, because he was with RCB for like 7 years. I want to say 12 to 19 or something like that. So he was there. He was there properly.
Yeah,
so, fascinating.
So yeah, so he got me the job at Melbourne Stars, and the reason I was going to work for RCB was him and Dan obviously combined. But basically Trent was like, no, you have to get Jared in, and that's why I started doing stuff for them as well.
So Akshay, I must say, like, you have followed all these teams at a very insane level. Like the kind of depth you have, the information and everything, all the context. Considering you have a brilliant memory also to go with that. But I think you've given like, is it something you've done for living also, or like just out of passion?
This, I mean, out of living the only last 2-3 years, for what it's worth, I was saying Jared this just yesterday. I also am a very stereotypical Indian, engineering, MBA, corporate job, startup.
You told me you used to be a prostitute. Was that not correct?
Yeah, that was before that. Yeah.
That was Deepak.
But yeah, okay. Yeah, we were having our own version
So
of magic.
who would even invest in me for that? Like, I don't think so. That's going to happen, right?
You'd be
I
surprised.
don't
Deepak.
fit into
You'd be
that.
surprised with You'd be surprised with the kind of likings and preferences people
Yeah.
in general have. Like
Mate, we can find a subgenre of erotica
yeah.
that suits you. Don't worry about that. Sorry, actually, you were talking about.
I really doubt if that would even exist.
Oh boy, oh boy. But about
Like,
IPL,
what kind
that's
of
the only thing
weird
I'll say.
fetish people would have?
You don't want to ask me that question because you know I have the answer and you know it will freak you out.
Yeah. I really don't. Because like the first interaction I had with Jared, like the proper interaction outside of, like, obviously we met initially also, like for a couple of very tense business related meetings, but like one casual discussion I had, the kind of information he shared was completely blew up my mind. There is something which I had never heard of in my whole life.
It was a lot of fun. Sorry, Akshay, you were saying you're in management, and then I took it in the darkest way turn
Nah,
possible.
not at all. Funny enough, I got into cricket through Twitter. I randomly started DMing people because I
Oh.
basically I'd run a startup, and right after the startup, I made an exit, and I was like, I'm done with doing these things. I'm not happy with this. Cricket is something that I really enjoy. I used to just randomly write
So
pieces
what
and
exactly
everything,
was
and
that?
the startup.
Yeah.
The startup was in the sustainability space. So I've done my MBA in logistics and supply chain management. So it's called Infinity Box. So it's based in Bangalore and now currently live in Gurgaon, Mumbai, everything. But long story short, I was really done with it. I'd mentally checked out in general. So I was like, I just need a break, and I happened to land a gig to just cover cricket. And I was like, wait, I've been watching cricket all my life. I didn't know I could get paid for that. So one thing led to another, and yeah, here we
Beautiful.
are. Yeah. But
So did
IPL
you
is one
play
thing I can
also?
say.
Did you
I did.
play?
I was a professional cricketer for a total of 6 months. I've told this. I've done trials and all for the Karnataka Premier League, the erstwhile Karnataka Premier League. This is 2017. 6 months in, I was like, yeah, I'm not going anywhere in India. Dubai is probably more like my place. I can probably do something. Nothing's happening in India, so
So
I shut shop. I was like,
you didn't give it a shot with UAE team or something like.
no, I was doing my engineering in India. So this was during engineering. I was like, engineering's not working out. Let me probably try and focus on cricket. I was like, yeah, that also is yeah. So like, chalo, let's just continue here. But a lot of my friends who I played club cricket with are now with the UAE cricket team. That's my claim to fame. I know
Ah,
people. I played with people who've been a part of the UAE cricket team. So like, yeah, that
amazing,
works.
amazing, amazing,
Yeah.
amazing, amazing. One amazing story
Yes.
because the I would say the nitty gritties of the game, all the deep dives that you have, and also because always like whenever Jared is coming up with something new, you could actually see that you're able to kind of get in the context of it and able to build on it. So it's always lovely to have that kind of a
Thank you.
perspective.
No, like I said, IPL is something you have no idea. Like I wish I can get it right now. Actually, give me 2 seconds. Let me be back.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, he's gone. I think Brajesh looks like Reese Topley.
Look wise, yes.
Yeah.
I would say a shorter version of him. That's a good
I might send Reese a
observation.
message, see if he likes that. He may not like that.
And in the middle overs, he like even in the last match against Punjab, with all his variations and stuff, considering the fact the kind of tournament we are having this year, I don't think he's done that bad, right?
You know, Reese Topley was dating like a really famous tennis player for years.
Oh,
Alina Svitolina. Does anyone know who she is?
sounds
No idea.
Russian. That's all I could say.
Yeah.
Alina Svitolina. I apologies if I've pronounced it wrong. I don't know anything about tennis. Let's have a look. Career titles
guy-
19. Her highest ranking was number 3. And her current ranking is number 8. Oh, she's still good.
And what did you say that you don't know anything about tennis? And this guy is a professional coach, tennis coach, right?
Oh, modern tennis. I don't follow modern tennis. If you want me to tell you about Stefan Edberg or Pat Rafter or Rod Laver, I probably know more about tennis history. You know, I always wanted to write a book on the Indian Davis Cup team who refused to play South Africa during apartheid, who lost their chance at winning the Davis
So your
Cup.
audience knows about this. Yeah, you are a professional tennis coach also, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think they know.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah. I was very good at
Yes.
tennis. That was my main sport, but I hated it.
I mean,
Yeah.
no, that's going to be bad.
It just, I never really enjoyed it. And so I played it when I was young, and then a bunch of my friends went off and started playing tournaments. And I was like, I hate tournaments. It looks boring. I don't want to do it. And then so I stopped played a lot of other sports. And then when I got to 15, I had this epiphany when I realized that actually girls played tennis. So I came
Lovely
back to
episode.
tennis. But by that stage, I was just a few years behind everyone else. And also the way I play, I probably needed to have another growth spurt. I had a really early growth spurt when I was about 12. I was about 6 foot tall when I was 12, 13. Same, my son's the same. Yeah, and then
Whoa.
never
Sure.
really went beyond that, right? Like, I'm like 185.
You were 6 foot at
centimeters.
what? At
12.
Yeah, 12, 13.
12.
I think I might have been 5'10" at 12 and maybe 5'11" at 13. And then everyone thought I was going to be a giant, and it just never happened. And I was a serve volleyer. You can't really be a 6 foot tall serve volleyer. And I was going to be a doubles player. Again, most doubles players are bigger. So you can cover more of the court. So I didn't really have any of the advantages that I needed.
But like, did you take some hormones or what? Like, at the age of 12 to suppress the growth of your.
No,
Right,
the
like,
same
because-
thing. The same thing's happening to my son at the moment, and it'd be really interesting to see how tall he gets. But he's just turned 13, and he'd be about 5'10" as well.
Oh, wow, man.
Yeah, and
Wow.
so he's like, I'm gonna get really tall, and I was like, yeah, that's what I thought, dude. Let's just see what happens over the next couple of years, because you're half Sri Lankan to begin with, so 5'10's already doing pretty well.
What was that?
He was a sweep off a full toss.
Ooh.
I mean, my growth spurt shook my parents because I grew like more than a feet in about 8 months.
Oh wow!
And
So
they got really
how tall
scared.
are you?
I'm 6'2" now. So I was about
6'2"?
5-ish.
He doesn't have 6'2" face cut, does he?
Yeah, exactly.
I think he
A
has
lot of
5'9" face cut.
Yeah, exactly.
Every-
Exactly. This is what I thought.
Everyone who's met me in person first gets shocked by my height. They're like, wait, you don't look that tall on your streams. I'm like,
Like
what do you want me
6'2",
to say?
seriously?
Yeah, I am. For what it's worth, I am. And this was my parents' reaction for the longest time because my spurt also happened when I was at boarding school. My parents were in Dubai. I just, after finishing my high school, 12th, I go back home and then I go, wait, what? You were in this store. What the fuck's happened to you? So, yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Hey, both my parents are very short, very short. So that's why I still, considering that also, I think even like 5'8", 5'9", for me was like pretty good jump.
Is that how tall you are?
I'm 5'8", 5'9", I guess.
Oh, I thought you were taller than that. So my thing is, and Rob Barron will talk about this. So Rob Barron still owes me a lot of money on a bet because he bet a lot of money that I'm not 6 foot tall, and this is after he'd known me for ages, and it's because I don't have very good posture, right? So if you see me, I'm quite often hunched over. It's just a thing that I've always had, and so the amount of times I've won bets in bars on people who don't believe I'm 6 foot, and I was like, bring out any ruler you want. Unless I've shrunk, I'm still over 6 foot.
So you're like 183 centimeter or 184
I think I'm
centimeter.
185 or
185. So you're 6'1".
No,
Yeah,
well,
almost
I'm
6'1".
almost 6'1". I think 186 is 6'1", isn't it?
No,
185.
I'm 187. That's 6'2", from what I know.
Yeah.
I'm 187.
Oh, is it?
No,
Maybe I'm
183, 187 is 6'1" and a half, you can say roughly.
Oh, you've just taken a half an inch off him.
That
Lucky
was
it's his height.
188 actually qualifies to be 6'2". Is 183 centimeter? Is 6.
But
and then
you just
to add-
rounded me up, and then you rounded Akshay down. In
Because,
live,
like-
we all saw that. Everyone who could do the maths just saw what you just did then. You rounded me up a centimeter, an inch, and you rounded him down. Just
Because you're saying like 185, so I'm assuming 185, 186. You said
Yeah.
so. It's.
I'd have
it's
to
there
check. I
only,
think I'm
right?
185. I'm certainly more than 184. Maybe I'm. Yeah, I can't remember now. But yeah, roughly around. that.
You added 186 to that also, right? Because that changes the whole equation. So
I'm
that's
definitely
why
not
it's
186. I've never.
Okay.
Yeah. Even if you stretch me out, I don't think I get to 186.
I'm like 173, 174, as far as I remember. Not more than that.
By the way, speaking of
I had a. For me, it was the other way around. Like everybody used to think that I'm 5'10". I'm like more 178 kind of a guy, and they were shocked to know that I'm only 173, 174. I think Jared also said the same, right? So he also felt that I'm a little taller than what I look like. And even in college, also used to happen like that. I don't know why.
Is there a sneaky chance of a fuck up here? By the way, in this game,
This is what I was actually
about
also.
yeah.
it's 30 off 18. I mean, Stubbs is there, and Ashutosh looks fine. I kind of feel like I mean, I suppose Deshpande's coming on. Deshpande's gone for 1 for 22 from 3 with some of the
Yes.
wildest bowling I've ever seen. I don't
Even I was
Oh,
surprised to see his figures. And the time Stubbs walked in, this was the first thought that came to my mind, because this guy is again going to do the 10 ball 11, and there is a very high probability that Delhi might kind of do a reverse of what RR did last time around
we've actually got a big
versus
piece
them.
on him coming out shortly. And him not playing with Miller helps, and him playing with Ashutosh helps. Though,
Yes,
because Ashutosh is the kind of guy you want to match up with Stubbs, not Miller, who does the exact same job but is older.
exact thing. And this is what almost happened against RCB. Like, they kind of made a mess
Yeah,
of
conked
that
up.
chase.
Yeah.
Deshpande in
True.
again, and that might have done it. It was a
That
good
was
ball.
so-
It was the wide Yorker and a beautiful shot from Ashutosh off the face of the bat, and could have been stopped at short third, I want to say. Unfortunately, I don't know who's fielding down there. It would have been a tough one.
Brijesh Sharma.
But if you are that certain about your wide Yorkers, why don't you put in your best fielders in that region, right?
Because that's where they put the donkeys automatically, right? I mean, you're not wrong. How many? It is one of those weird situations of like, if the whole tactic is revolving around this thing, why are we not? Do you remember when Mushtaq Ahmed used to bowl, and he used to just try and get everyone out cutting in limited overs cricket, right? So he'd set them up for the wrong one, but it was like they would have like sometimes they'd have like Inzi at backward point, and we were like, well, you need someone who could field to keep the pressure on, so otherwise the batter's just going to drop it into the gap and hope they can steal a single from it.
And with Deshpande, his go-to death bowling is actually wide Yorkers,
Who
right?
got hurt here?
Ashutosh.
He scooped it back onto his helmet.
Oh, I didn't see that at all.
Yeah.
I saw him scoop and not get the run. I didn't see where the ball went.
Yeah. Ball went straight onto his helmet.
So we have a
But,
super chat here. So a question here.
Yeah.
Actually, please go ahead. You're saying something?
Yeah, we can just, we can just take Rabuz itself. As a kid, the best team in IPL always kind of ran away with it. It just doesn't feel like that anymore. Am I just unable to register RCB and Punjab as great teams, or is there more to it? Wow. You're living in denial, Ribhu. That's all we can say.
Actually, we had a good discussion. Me and Vignesh had a good discussion. I think day before yesterday on this. Like, he said, like, he actually came up with a very good logic. He said, like, earlier with IPL, you would see there was a pattern. Like, CSK bossed it for first 5 years, and then we had that 7 years era where Mumbai did that, and he kind of felt that it is possible that we might see a third or fourth era also coming up in the years to come, because he said, like, there's a pattern, there's like a certain pattern, certain style of play that fits in for IPL, and teams would just crack the code and would just build the entire fortress around it. And this is what happened with CSK for a good 5 years, and then that happened to Mumbai for good 6-7 years, and then I think he really came up with that very beautiful argument. And this was something which I'd never thought of, because he was kind of giving that analogy of other sports also, like how it has worked in other sports. So maybe this is what Ribu is kind of talking about, because we saw that era in which a certain team just dominated. It was not even about a single season. It was, I think, in that whole era, I would say. But I think maybe post the impact player rule, all these teams are kind of still figuring out their best compositions.
Yeah, I think because the league was early, though, it's probably easier to come up with one or two good ideas that would transfer over a little bit more, like Mumbai's scouting, right, and Chennai's structure. It's harder probably to do that now and for a long period of time. And the mega auction doesn't really help you set up for a long, sustained model at the moment, right? As this is by Stubbs, 6 gone.
Finally, he has woken up. So that was
4 off 5, then a 6. He loves it.
Yep.
One of the rookie chess mistakes is not to think of what the opponent will do after your move. I think you mean. Feels like a lot of cricket teams, bowlers do the same mistake with plans and tactics. No, I think they're thinking about the batters. I just don't. Here we go, Prudby. If you want to bring it to chess, they're thinking about what their opponent will do next, but they're not thinking about the entire board. Right? they
Fair.
sometimes don't think of that. What? Okay, so we're going to bowl this. This is what we're going to do. We're going to take the steam away. He's bowled a wide here. We're going to do that. But as Deepak said, they're not thinking, okay, so if we're going to bowl wide Yorkers, we can't now automatically put our shittest fielder at short third. And that's what they don't do.
Which is little strange also, considering that like stakes are so high, because like generally, because obviously this season has not been that close. They're pretty one-sided matches, majority of them. But generally, that a couple of such polls can change the whole complexion of the match. So
yeah. Also, that's a tough position to field in, actually. This is a semi-professional, almost real cricketer. Like, at slip,
Almost.
Slip is way, I would say slip is way easier to field at than short third.
I will never ever use slip and easy in the same sentence. I found it incredibly hard feeling. Like slip was one of the hardest positions.
I could do it in my sleep.
No.
Yeah.
I
If you put me in
struggled. I used
slip
to be
now,
scared.
to a quick bowler, not to spinners, because I was the spinner, so I didn't get a lot of practice. But to a quick bowler, I would have no issue fielding in slip right now, today, even though I haven't fielded in slip in 10 years.
I used to be scared, legit scared of the
Really?
slip drills that we used to do. Because it used to hurt the fuck out of my fingers. I used to always.
That's my favorite
load
thing in the
slip.
world. I actually think I prefer slip fielding to any slip fielding practice to any other thing in cricket.
Nope.
Yeah.
And about this though, since you guys mentioned, about having specialist fielders, but how practical is it to do it if that's not the plan for the entire over? You said Mushtaq Ahmed, that was his plan more often than not. It makes sense to not have Inzi then. But if your plan is specifically for this batter and who might potentially take a single, strike might rotate, or you might then change your plans, if it's not going to be a go-to plan, do you think it makes sense for every ball to have a specialist fielder in specialist positions all the time, especially if that fielder is not nearby?
Generally, when you bowl wide Yorkers, you bowl more than 3 in an over, though, don't you?
yes.
But if he takes a single off the first ball, that strike rotated, is that the plan for the over, or is that the plan for this batter in particular?
Even then, I was just like, I don't. I think the old thinking of automatically putting your two shittest fielders at short third and short fine leg doesn't actually make sense in the way that modern T20 cricket is played.
Fair.
Yes, because earlier hardly anything was played.
We didn't have reverse scoops, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Mujib seems to drop about 9 catches a game. Chahal drops like 7 catches a game, right? I just think a lot of catches get dropped in that region. And I wonder if I would probably rather have those guys in that part of the game. Maybe at short cover.
Fair.
At short cover, there's not like you can do at short cover if Heinlein Carson smashing the ball, is there?
No.
You're basically just a bag of potatoes.
There was this shot, 2016 India-Australia T20 as that happened down under. Chris Lynn smashes this Hardik Pandya full delivery to cover, more like extra cover Yuvraj Singh. Smashes the bones out of that ball. And you can see Yuvraj almost like he's crying in grief. Like it was so hardly hit. That's not a position I would want to put a chair or someone in. I think it might potentially break his hand.
I mean, I've seen him field. I'm not sure there's a position. I think if you're going to bowl wide Yorkers, you put them at deep backward square leg, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Put them somewhere there where there's no chance of the ball going. Simple. Don't put them anywhere in the vicinity of that ball going. Simple. That's your best shot.
But I'm just saying.
But I feel it's...
I just think the automatic thing of here's the other one, Deepak. I'll take this for you. Why not put them at point rather than at backward point? I think backward point is harder. If you've got wide Yorkers, I actually think it's harder. At least at point, the ball is hit off the middle of the bat to you.
Yeah, because it's easier to kind of judge the angle also.
Yeah.
And in some of the IPL matches, we've seen that.
Scotland did this. Scotland trained their fast bowlers to field at point because they wanted all their fit guys out on the boundary and they didn't want their fast bowlers running around the boundary all the time. And so in that game where they beat England at the Grange, oh God, what's his name? The opening bowler they used to have, the tall guy, Ali. I've forgotten his name, but he took a catch at point.
Sufyan Sharif?
No. Shafi was a good athlete, so he was out on the boundary.
Okay.
But no, it was Ali. It was their new ball bowler.
Okay.
Like a Scottish Stuart Clark type bowler. Very good player. Had a long career with Scotland, but was a school teacher. I know he's a school teacher, and I can't remember his name. That's pretty bad, isn't it?
Oh, yes, Scotland cricketer. I can't think of an Ali with Scotland. That's why I'm also surprised. Harris Ali, Ali
I might be
Ramsey.
Alistair then, but I know him as
Okay.
Ali, probably. Alistair,
Yeah.
cricket bowler. Alistair Evans, there he is.
Okay. All right.
Played. Let's have a look.
And
played
I
quite a
didn't
bit.
expect Delhi to kind of win this easily,
Yeah.
to be honest, because the surface looked like it had some grip for the spinners, right? Kuldeep was able to spin his wrong one so well and everything, and to be fair, like they've not been able to use the spinners that well. So
True.
not the kind of pitch where your spinner should be going for 5 or 61, I would say.
I think every spinner on this pitch has gone, haven't they?
But Kuldeep for 3 overs
First
was
innings.
good. Then he got,
Yeah.
I think his matchup didn't make sense because obviously Donald Ferreira has crazily poor numbers against him, but like he is in form right now, right? And
it's the
18th over, 18th over. Kuldeep, that's not just Kuldeep's territory. He doesn't know how to kind of bowl in those overs, right? He hasn't bowled ever. I don't think so. Like hardly a very small sample size, I would say. And then Akshar was
I
think
think
up
Kuldeep
against
used to bowl at the death for India sometimes, didn't he?
In
and
T20s.
not able to.
Was it one days?
Not that I remember in T20s.
Wonders, yes, you are
Oh
right.
my God.
He has done that, but like in Asian conditions or maybe in Dubai or something like where the pitch was like
True.
Yeah,
turning
yeah.
square, like, and he had to deal with all the tail enders. Those
Jofra
things
Archer has got to get over himself. Right, he does this all the time. He makes so many fielding mistakes, and then one comes off him, and he can't believe it.
But I love watching it every time because the way
That's
he
my headache.
loses his shit.
Oh, okay, guys, I'll just drop off and join the Hindi stream.
Yeah.
Thank you, 5'5".
Thank you so much,
Deepak Goyal.
Deepak. Bhai.
I put 8ish.
Round up for yourself, round down for Akshay. That's what we've learnt today.
Yeah, but still, I
He
would say
just-
like by some distance the tallest in my family. It's like that. Okay.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
Right?
So last over 5 runs needed then?
Yeah. It's a shame actually. That it was a beautiful shot by Ashutosh, but they could have kept some sort of pressure on if it had been fielded.
Are you still confident that Delhi will chase this? I still think that they can mess this up from here too. 5 or 6.
I think it's probably unlikely.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, it's definitely unlikely. Sorry, I mean, I believe they can't. Not with Stubbs and Ashutosh there, right?
Who is bowling the last over though?
It's a good
Burger
question.
or Brijesh?
It doesn't matter. It's been hit for 4 anyway. Yeah,
Oh.
Brajesh. They definitely can't do it with Brajesh.
Yeah.
I didn't see that though. The camera missed it.
I just saw it panned to the audience. That's it. Oh, I saw the shot now. Offside. Okay. That's a 4. Ends the game there. Or pretty much ends the game there.
Yeah.
But good to see Delhi win this. Keeps them also in the hunt because it was very quickly becoming a bunch of dead rubbers coming our way. Had RCB won yesterday and Rajasthan won today. So at least happy that the table is still slightly more open than before.
Yeah, I think Delhi and good. Oh my
Gujarat,
God,
yeah.
Brajesh. Delhi and Gujarat being good in the last 2 days has certainly made it for a much better league situation than we have. It's still very, very hard.
I'm sorry, I just saw the ball.
It's so bad. It's a head high full toss. It's not head high, probably chest high full toss.
Chest, yeah.
It's just such a bad delivery. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, the game is over. The Capitals have won this. Let me bring my scorecard back up because I was looking at somebody else. The Capitals have won this with 5 balls and 7 wickets remaining. So a very convincing win at the end. They got early wickets, Delhi. of the two openers, but then Rian Parag and Donovan Ferreira, in very different ways, played incredibly important innings to get them back into it. Mitchell Starc took 3 wickets on his first game back, isn't it?
Yep, that's right.
Yep. And then coming out to bat, it was essentially ended this chase by Patham Nissanka, who had been dropped in a previous game. So Nissanka was back. We finally saw him bat for more than 15 balls, and because of that, he put them in a great position. When he went out, KL Rahul took over. Nitesh Rana, a lovely smaller innings as well, and then eventually they chased the big score very, very easily. We've got one super chat left that says, Ali says, fielding worse this season, or has Rob just opened my eyes? Have you ever heard of the movie The Room? Have we talked about this already?
Yep.
Yeah. So Ali has paid for me to take Rob Barron to see The Room in London with Tommy Wiseau. Yeah. What a legend, eh? What an absolute legend of a man. And Rob has no idea what The Room is. I haven't even sent him any clips yet. So Rob doesn't. All Rob knows is because Rob looked it up and he goes, "It's a dramatic romantic film," and I went, "It's neither of those things." It's absolutely none of those things. Anyway, is the fielding worse this season? I don't know. I think every year people say the same thing. So I don't know about that, Ali. But yeah, Rob does open people's eyes. That's what Rob does. Anyway, that's it for Akshay and me. Deepak was here before. Shyam was here. I don't know if anyone else was on this live. I came and went a little bit as well. But a big win by Delhi. And I think the best possible case scenario is we still have an open playoff spots for the rest of the year. There's a lot that is left to happen in this IPL. Go to combox.tv, sign up to our emailer there and register on our site. You can get a beta tester very soon of what we are doing. And we may be coming to a city near you very soon. And if you want early tickets to these events, you need to have combox.tv. We'll see you again very soon here on Combox. Combox. The game lives on.